Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast, the coolest podcast on the planet. I'm Santi, that's Sancho. We got Penta, we got Raw, we got Smackdown, we got The Rock on Netflix saying a whole lot of nothing, and a really sad Cory Graves, and a super stacked...
Oh, you know what else is sad? Who else is sad?
Who's sad?
Oh, you poor Charger fan. Oh.
We're literally 5 seconds in, brother.
Hey. Boo you. You suck. Welcome back to reality. Welcome back. Pulled you down at the fucking
It was like crashing back down to earth. It's like, right? oh, this is what it was really supposed to be like the whole time.
You're like the little Santino brother thinking you were gonna win. Cobra.
We were the Chargers were Santino in the Rumble 2011. You're right.
Yep.
We thought we had it.
Yee.
But folks, welcome to the Wrestling is Cool podcast. Like I already said, the coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. Just remember that you could be getting this episode 3 days earlier than everywhere else on the planet over on patreon.com/SantiZab. Not only that, but you could be getting the Raw reviews, the Smackdown review, both with footage synced so that you can see exactly what we're talking about. And you also get 5 weekly Match Club watch-alongs that you get to vote for, the Undertaker Streak watch-along, and the Royal Rumble watch-alongs, which Sancho is about to get to Royal Rumble 2013, so he's deep into his watch-alongs and almost getting towards the end. How's that been, man, watching all of these Rumbles?
It's been awesome. I always say this, it's a great way to figure out like who's in the main event picture, who's getting pushed, who's like the up and coming, who gets their moments, and then you see just the bad booking as well. It's like everything encapsulated into one little nice hefty 1 hour meal, and I love it. And by God, the amount of times where you think like, imagine if you're in the woods, Santi, and you're sitting there quietly eating a nice little picnic. You're looking out to the serene sunset. You hear the birds, you feel the wind on your skin, and you're touching the grass. And all of a sudden you see, where just out of nowhere, it's you forget that he's out there lurking, listening, watching. And then when that world music hits, it just hits you like a ton of bricks, dude. And it hit me like a ton of bricks in 2012. I'm like, oh, who's number 30? Whoa, like,
dude, it's so Big Show in the Royal Rumbles is the worst. I hate it every single time he went out there because it was always the same formula with the Big Show in the Rumbles. Yeah. Oh no, how will they ever get him over the top rope? And they do every single time they get him over the top rope. I hated the Big Show in the Rumbles. People think I just hate the Big Show. You're right, I just do. I just don't like the Big Show. I don't like his theme song. I don't like his singlet. I don't like anything about him. The character on screen.
So yes, on Patreon we're on episode 22 coming up soon, and it's all in the collection. Like literally, it's all there. And the same thing with Taker Mania. How's Taker Mania?
It's good, man. I just finished watching Taker versus Ric Flair. Way better than I remembered. Yeah, you'll just have to come watch it on Patreon. Patreon.com/SantiZab. And don't forget, $15 patrons towards the end of the month, we'll be doing our movie watch along. Have we decided if we're doing Walking Tall or the Rundown?
I'm thinking we're gonna do the Rundown.
Okay, the Rundown. All right, we're gonna watch an actually good movie because the last movie watch along, good God, that movie was terrible. The Santa's Little Helper with The Miz. Awful.
And then for those, we're gonna try to do it every last Friday of the month after SmackDown. So.
That's the plan. But let's jump into this, man. Lots to talk about. Raw Netflix episode 2. I'm just gonna come out and immediately say it. All right, way better than episode 1. I liked episode 1. Don't get me wrong, but I get the criticism of episode 1. It did sort of feel like it was a ham-fisted, more corporate episode of what we're used to for Monday Night Raw, but this was way better.
It sounds like you're like judging Star Wars. You're critiquing Star Wars right now.
We're not far off from episode 1. We're not that far off from the cringe of that fandom either, brother. That's what we do. WWE is Star Wars in the real world, man. They have their Han Solo. They've got their Luke Skywalker. There's a Darth Vader, bro. You can make connections to Star Wars and WWE all day long.
Penta's the new Jedi that just showed up. You're like, oh my God, who is this new Jedi out of
nowhere?
Hell yeah,
man.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
But yeah, I think
who's really a Sith Lord, though. We don't know, brother.
Oh, he's got to be. He's got to be. Yeah. I thought episode 2 was way better. I thought that episode 1 just sort of felt like it was tailored.
Yeah.
It felt like it was catered to a far more wider audience, trying to cast like a bigger net to try and bring people into this style of WWE programming. So I thought it was when you think about it, it's a good plan. You bring them in with the big fancy names, the big shiny colors, and then you hit them with like a really good episode of professional wrestling with good matches, good storytelling, an awesome debut. I felt like it was structured really, really well going from episode 1 to episode 2, but it just felt like this was Raw, not this fancy schmancy PLE quasi thing that they did last week.
For sure. I mean, we predicted that would happen. And what I find the most interesting is still, I don't have the awesome segments between commercials. I'm still getting commercials. And for all the people in the comments saying, I'm in the United States, adding in commercial, Sancho must not have the premium membership. I do have the premium member. I have the 4K HD. I have the tippity top of it. There's nothing I can do. I'm missing good segments. I missed the segment of Gable coming out getting booed. I'm missing the segments of New Day. Like, I haven't seen New Day in weeks. I have to go to the social media. It's the things that are little things that I feel like they're strange on Netflix. But I think the biggest thing that we should talk about right now is, how did you feel when it hit 2 hours and a half and we were out? We were released early from school. How did you feel about that moment? Because I thought it was kind of exciting to see that they could do that.
I loved it. I thought that it set a good precedent as well. End the show when it needs to be ended. You know, whether it's early, whether it's late, whether it's at 3 hours, just end it when it needs to be ended. Because it felt like SmackDown was the opposite, that it was forcing itself to be 3 hours. It was really stretching out segments that just shouldn't have been as long as they were for the sake of getting to that 3 hour mark, because they have to, because there is a network contract in place and that's when they go off the air, mandatory. But we're here with Netflix, it just sort of felt like things could free flow more. You could give time to the things that you want to give time to. You could be quick with the things that you want to be quick with, like Sami Zayn versus The Miz. That didn't need to overstay its welcome, but they allowed Penta to have plenty of time and even a promo. It just felt like they prioritized the correct things on this episode of Monday Night Raw, and they didn't force themselves to take the things that weren't a priority and stretch them out just for the sake of getting to that 3 hour mark. I loved this 2.5 hour episode. Here's the thing. I'm not married to a time frame. This could have been 3 hours. This could have been 4 hours. If it warrants 4 hours, that means the show flies by. It doesn't feel like 4 hours. And it's fine. If it warrants 2.5, perfect. But then you get SmackDown, it didn't warrant 3 hours, and it felt like 7, dog. We dragged through that episode of SmackDown.
What they had, like, Cody comes out, Kevin comes out, they could have a backstage segment, then Cody comes back out again, and it was just like, you could feel that the roster was stretched thin that day, and that lacked a lot of not only just superstars in that locker room. And the segments where you would have, I call it one of the biggest sins that an episode, if I was judging an episode of wrestling, is when a talent comes out, entrance, promo, someone interrupts, entrance, promo, another person interrupts, entrance, promo, another, and then commercial, promo, they brawl, and now we have a fight. So it's like drawn out extra stuff when you just want to get to the fight. And I'm talking about the women's fatal four-way for the number one contender. So that's always one of the greatest sins. But back to this Monday Night Raw being in 2.5 hours, it felt like to me like it was somebody who knew what they wanted to get out and wanted to say, and then they said it, and they were able to pull the cord. And I know there's people on the internet were saying, like, I don't know if I was at that Raw, I would feel like I was robbed. But like, people don't understand, they get dark matches as well, so they're gonna go home happy no matter what. When I attend a Monday Night Raw show, I don't think like, wow, I'm owed 3 hours or owed a set amount of lifetime. I just want good wrestling. I want good wrestling, good storytelling, and I want good backstage segments, and I want to feel that atmosphere. And if you went to San Jose, California, and from all the comments on my reactions to Penta and all the comments for our reviews and your review on Patreon, everybody in that audience was hyped, and everyone felt satisfied.
Mm-hmm. There's also a big difference, too, between how they're producing this Raw Netflix versus SmackDown on USA. When you go to a live show, if you go to a SmackDown, when they're on commercials, you are also sitting on your hands. They aren't doing anything. They aren't getting promos. They aren't getting backstage segments. But here on Raw Netflix, they are. So the people live in the arena are getting more of an experience in a shorter amount of time. So true. I don't think that if I bought this ticket that I would have felt shortchanged or anything like that. if anything, I just would have felt like my time felt respected a little bit more.
Right, because during those times, what Santi is talking about is essentially like Jay Uso will come out, his music, he'll do his entrance, and then they'll go to commercial, and then they'll fade the lights, and he would just sit there, and then they'll show whatever, a recap or whatever, and then he's just sitting there waiting, and then when they come back from commercial, they raise back the music, and then he goes back to doing his thing. So there's a lot of those moments that you kind of have to sit through, and like you always said that you are just an extra for the live production, but in the Netflix, it's so interesting to me. If I'm at home and I'm getting commercials and I'm missing, if I'm an American at home, and I'm only saying that because right now there's a good chunk of us that are experiencing commercials during Netflix commercials on Raw, then I would say maybe it's worth going to Monday Night Raw so I don't miss these segments. What if there's a segment that I interview or a promo that I want to see? Because I did not see Penta and Ray talking about, hey, that Penta, man, he really deserves to be here on Raw. I didn't see that at all. I didn't, and I only had to keep up with it on social. So it could be a selling ticket as well to go back to a live showing of Monday Night Raw.
And that was also, as far as I know, the New Day's first like proper promo ever since they turned heel. And they was on commercials for you guys, posted on socials. That kind of sucks. But I almost feel like they're kind of handcuffed to just wait on the New Day until they decide what to do with the frickin' War Raiders in the tag team division. Because that is the last time I need the War Raiders and Damian Priest. Never again. Just look, they're giving so much tender love and care to the SmackDown tag team division, and it's blossoming. It's actually working. Now, like, I'm like, ooh, I actually want to see Berto and Angel. They're actually like talking backstage. They're actually characters now. Now I'm seeing like what they're all about. And we're seeing this because the tag team division is being given tender love and care. And it does start with DIY being the tag team champions, being in the tag team division. And they haven't done that with the War Raiders. And I feel like until they do that, the New Day is just going to be relegated to this, not being able to capitalize off of like the incredibly hot start to their heel turn. It's diminishing. It really is. Not just in terms of their lack of substantial feud post heel turn, but just their lack of meaningful TV time as well.
I know we're scooting around, so I wonder, like, would you want them to be more like the Outsiders? How they were just such a force of nature and changing things and causing chaos? Because I feel like when
I've lost Sancho.
Talking about it.
Oh no, he's back. I lost you for a second. You're back.
I'm back. So I was saying, like, be a force of nature like the Outsiders, where they just cause a ruckus. And I think you're right. I mean, the handle was so hot. It was too hot to handle for, I think, booking wise, because they didn't understand what they had on their hands, that they made this big switch and everybody was talking about it on socials, and all of a sudden they're just getting booed like Dom. But I wanted them to get physical, man. I wanted them to feel like a threat, and they're not a threat. We'll see. I mean, they got in-ring action next week, so hopefully they could solve that out. But I think what you're saying is when a 2.5 hour Raw, you can't have, I don't know, missteps a little, right? Is that what you're saying about the War Raiders? Because I'm trying to connect the dots there.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm talking more so about like the tag team division in general, right? Like we're seeing the biggest names of the tag team division on Raw being relegated to not appearing on the main show of Netflix, appearing in the commercial segment for you, right?
Yes.
So it's almost like, hey, we don't have enough or anything interesting for the tag team division for the main portion of this 2.5 hour show, but we're going to relegate you to these commercial breaks. And I feel like that's going to continue to be the case until we bring the tag team division into the narrative, into the actual 2.5, 3 hour portion of the show. Because the War Raiders appearing in the main event, cool, good, in the main event, that's great, but this did nothing for them and thus does nothing for the tag team division, thus makes it more difficult for me to visualize them appearing and getting valuable screen time when the show can only be sometimes 2.5 hours.
Yeah, so do you think that, I guess, to pay the other side of the coin here is that those 30 minutes could have been for the tag team division, or they just don't know what to do with the tag team division to warrant the 30-minute use.
Could it have been? Sure. But clearly there's nothing good enough on the table to warrant it. And I'm good with them not pulling the trigger on just doing something ham-fisted, something lame, something that actually isn't very good just for the sake of getting 3 to 3 hours. If there isn't something good on the table, don't do it. Just bring it back when there is something good.
Question, Sancho West. When it comes down to New Day, let's just focus on them a little bit. Considering that they were so mean to Big E about his injury, and considering that the War Raiders are champions, what if they were mean to the War Raiders regarding their career-ending possible injuries that they almost suffered? The motorcycle accident, and then the neck injury to Ivar. Like, there's so many things I think that they could play on, and that could lean into what is this heel New Day? What are they? Are they these guys that just don't care about any excuse you have? And are they the guys that, hey, you're going to have to put in the work to get where you are? And we had no excuses, so you shouldn't have any excuses. Like, that's a kind of an interesting line to cross, because, you know, that could get some real emotion out of the War Raiders dealing with a foe that's kind of picking at their vulnerabilities like that.
I'll take anything, Sancho. Anything. Like, we have nothing. That's the thing. Like, what your suggestion, I'm like, sure, yeah, go with it. Just something that forces us to get more New Day in substantial feuds and matches and things that matter, not things on commercial break. I'll take anything at this point from the New Day, so that it isn't just these hollow promos that aren't really advancing anything. That's the problem that I have right now with the New Day.
Still say they got to put Ridge Holland in there, man. Oh my God.
Oh, dude, that would be hilarious if they added Ridge Holland. It would be so good.
That would bring it in, and what if Ridge Holland is like, oh, what if he did that every time? Dude, now we're talking about nuclear heat. Right back.
That would be so good if they added Ridge Holland to the New Day and he did all of the Big E shticks.
Right? Yeah, he said, "Don't you dare be sour." Clap. And you're like, what is this? And then he does the you know, the Big E ending, right? That kind of stuff. Like, oh my God, it'd be so weird.
What if he was just Big E, but he just didn't acknowledge that he was Ridge Holland? Yeah, he just pretended to be Big E.
Now we're heading into Attitude Era type of things, aren't we? Now
we really are. We really are.
But yeah, I think that that would only work if Big E's getting back in the ring, though.
Of course, there needs to be the payoff, right? How do the bad guys get their comeuppance if they do that?
You know what they should do back in the WWE? They should have what was it in Game of Thrones, where you have the champions represent you?
Oh, trial by combat.
Yeah, that'd be sick, right? A little bit of that kind of vibe where someone can't represent themselves and like, oh, I got someone, and then you hear, and it's Braun Strowman. It's always Braun
Strowman. Every single time. Well, I always thought that.
Wait. Who would be your champion if you? Okay.
It's the answer is John Cena, brother. That's the champion that you want. There's a reason, bro. Who is your champion, Lord Santi Zap? Well, the champ is here.
Oh,
that's how it is, brother.
God, dude, you do no hesitation, brother. Right off, John Cena.
Dude, I had it in the holster, ready to go.
God,
what about you?
Okay, honestly, if it was anyone from the era, it'd be Stone Cold. I think Stone Cold will never quit on you, right? You would have to cut his head off to be able to beat Stone Cold. He's the kind of guy who would shove you down that hole, whatever the veil. He would shove you down that hole easy. Is that what it's called?
The moon door, yeah. What's so funny about the moon door? What, do you picture somebody putting their ass out the window and mooning people? Is that what you're thinking? Are you that immature?
No. This idea of referencing something as a moon door, it just sounds funny to me. That's all.
All right. It feels like you're laughing because of asses.
Oh, that's my moon door. Please stay away from my moon door.
Well, in that 2-hour Raw, or 2.5-hour Raw that we had the debut of Penta El Cero Miedo, debuting against Chad Gable to a great ovation. He got a pop, which immediately made me so happy that there was genuine excitement for Penta in the arena, that he got the best presentation I've ever seen Penta get in terms of entrance, pyro, all of this stuff. More than anything, too, did you hear the commentary about Penta? Like, they were so enamored by the fact that WWE signed Penta. They were talking about the fact that it was such an honor to get to see Penta work in the WWE. They talked about all of his accomplishments, talking about his TNA World Championship, talking about his other accolades all over the world. I thought it was this was a stark difference. Like, seeing Penta debut in WWE in 2025, I try to envision what this would have looked like in 2017, Sancho. And it would have been horrible. It would have been Penta being probably put in the Lucha House Party or whatever, and just being turned into a caricature of himself. But this felt like WWE, just like Motor City Machine Guns, they respected the legacy and that this guy was bringing in from all of his years of work in other companies. And they trusted him to go against one of their best guys in the company in Chad Gable. But not only that, trusting him to get mic time afterwards. That to me was like the official sign, sealed, and deliver lamination that WWE has a ton of trust in Penta.
It shocked me so much on how much TLC he got. I think one of the things that AEW's biggest gripe for Penta was, where's the merch for Penta in terms of a mask?
No mask.
Day one, before he even debuted, we got a Penta mask in the W shop. Sick mask, by the way. $75. I might get it. It looked really cool.
Yeah, and the fact it's on back order till the end of April, brother.
Really? Oh my God.
End of April. If you order it now, you might not even get it until May.
Because it looks like a 1-to-1 representation of his mask. And then the fact that it has a removable face cover as well, like all that kind of stuff is sick. And I think what I know, it was interesting because when I was talking about Penta and we were kind of hyping him up, there's always that thing in the back of your mind, like, can the WWE fumble it? Because we, as talking heads, sometimes we go, dude, we've seen this guy. We've seen this guy in Lucha Underground when we have a match club. We've seen him in AEW. This guy could bring the goods. The only missing pieces can WWE put all that together in a WWE style presentation and for it to land, not only by the WWE standards, but with the WWE universe. And it all landed for him. And the big thing as well is, like, people were saying, like, dude, you're overhyping Penta. He is not the everything. I was like, he can be the everything. And he totally is the everything in my mind when it comes to what I've seen before. But what gets me the most excited is that he's going to be a different luchador, even if he is a face versus a heel that we wanted him to be a heel. But a luchador that speaks from the heart and not this guy that, I mean, look at the past, and no disrespect to the luchadors in the past, but like the Kalistos, right? The Sin Caras, like all those ones that were just those 2017 type of vibes, right? Those luchadors didn't land, man. And they were some of the solid luchadors of their time. And for me to see Penta land and be successful and speak from the heart and be himself without being an LWO lackey, W. Like, a huge W. Amazing.
I was going to say, I feel like, you're talking about like the overhyping of Penta. I get it. I feel like I was overhyping him, but I feel like I was justified in the overhyping of Penta. And I feel like what we get out of Penta, and the reason why I was so excited to have Penta in the WWE, isn't just because he's like a luchador, an exciting guy. It's because I feel like he's one of the few people out there in the ethos of professional wrestling that offer something to the WWE that the WWE didn't have. Yes, WWE has lucha style, but they don't really have the proper like AAA CMLL, like heavy hitting lucha libre style that exists in Mexico today. That's what Penta brings. That's not the style of lucha that Rey has. It's not. That's more like just very, very flashy. But like modern day lucha libre is a combination of like hard hitting style with really awesome flashy moves. I don't feel like anyone offers that. They can offer it. Andrade can do it. Santos can do it. I'm sure Rey can do it as well, but we've never seen them get the opportunity to do that style of lucha like we're seeing Penta be able to do. For God's sakes, his finisher is a pile driver. Do you see like how there is almost like a juxtaposition. Like, why does this crazy high-flying dude have such a nasty, hard-hitting finisher? That's the style of lucha that exists today in Mexico, and Penta personifies it perfectly, and no one in the WWE is playing that role. So he actually offers something new, something unique to the WWE main roster fan base that, I know Aleister Black is likely coming back to the WWE, but we have Aleister Black likes in the WWE, people that wrestle like Aleister Black, but no one like Penta. No one like Penta right now.
And I think what works so well with Penta, and it's the same thing with Rey Mysterio. I mean, what makes Rey Mysterio so great is that his lucha style could work with any of the current WWE roster, right? And Penta's lucha style could work with any of the WWE roster. I mean, Chad Gable's a perfect personification of that. It's not necessarily like a Sin Cara type of situation where he needs a dance partner. He needs someone to do the same kind of lucha moves. We saw a hard-hitting match between Chad Gable and Penta that was basically two wrestling styles mixed together perfectly. And so now in my mind, I'm like, all right, cool. Let's put Penta against Gunther. Like, imagine that. Gunther versus Penta.
Dude, I'm not even kidding. Even if it is just a filler match, let's say, and we know Gunther would win, let's say he retains past WrestleMania. If they were to do Gunther versus Penta for the World Heavyweight Championship at this Backlash that's rumored to be in Mexico City, brother, first of all, imagine the hilarious shit-eating grin promos that Gunther could cut. It's Penta. You say you have no fear, Penta, but you haven't ran into the ring general, Penta. Like, it could be so good, especially if it does end up being in Mexico City.
And what people got a glimpse of as well is the selling of Penta. Penta is a great, charismatic underdog, like I'm about to die type of luchador that you're like, dude, please just give up. That's what you want to see. Like, he's the kind of guy that's knocking on death's door, but that's what works so well for him. He has zero fear. And there's matches in AEW, and I have to give my kudos to AEW here because he's the one that kind of pushed Penta on the map for me. I always knew of him in Lucha Underground, but this was past Lucha Underground's time. So when he showed up on the scene in AEW, we had this match on Match Club on Patreon, is the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks. And it was a cage match. And I remember watching this match on pay-per-view, and I did not know anything about the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks. And the fight that they put on an emotional level was amazing. Yes, they had all the moves. Yes, they had all the flippy stuff. Yes, they had the synchronizations of like Canadian destroyers and all these swantons, like you name it. They threw everything at them. But there's a moment in every AEW match when every wrestler has thrown everything at the kitchen sink at each other and they're still standing. And you're like, holy, how is this going to end? They've used every finisher, and that may turn some people off. But there's moments in that Penta match with his brother Ray, who's rumored to come soon.
Phoenix, to clarify, in case
Ray Phoenix, right? Ray Phoenix, where their masks are torn to bits, and there's a moment when Penta's mask, his eye is like exposed, and his face is bloodied, and you're like, good lord! And they're standing in front of each other, like to protect each other from the Young Bucks finishers. You're like, yes. And that is what I'm so excited for. That's a level of not only you talked about the strong stuff, but that level of selling, that level of in-ring psychology that I'm so excited for Penta to bring. Because imagine, he's facing Gunther, he's bloodied up, and he has this torn mask because Gunther would probably try to rip his mask off. That's the kind of stuff, that's the kind of stuff that I miss from those Ray days, man. When Ray was in his prime and he would just be up against like last gasp, ready to give up, and he just turns it on and finds the Bushido inside of him to be able to get the victory. And it was really cool, man. It was a small glimpse of what we saw, but I still think the shocking thing is that they gave him the microphone. I was like, wait, he's not only gonna be in the middle of the ring, cut a promo with no like vignettes or no subtitle vignette, nothing. They let him go.
That's where I was like, oh, WWE gets it. One, they understood that they were in front of a large Hispanic audience where, hey, they read the room appropriately.
Except with Hogan.
Yo, they did not read the room with Hogan, but they read the room pretty well with Penta. They're like, yeah, man, go out there, introduce yourself, talk in Spanish, it's gonna land. And it did, man. The crowd was eating it up, and I feel like people at home were eating it up as well. I'm just really happy as to the overall initial treatment of Penta. And if I'm a pending free agent from AEW, if I'm an Aleister Black, if I am a Ricky Starks. Brother, I'm looking at this and I'm salivating. Like, this is how we're being treated. They're not ignoring our achievements from other places. And even if it's like, man, what if they send me down to NXT? Look at what they did with Ethan Page, brother. Like, there is just a very clear cut respect for the accomplishments that you've done in other places, and it's going to translate into WWE. When before it was like, oh, cool, like you are this monster badass, cool, you're the Funkasaurus now. Good luck, brother. That's what happens now. That's what you get. You know, that's the previous regime of WWE. But now we have Jade Cargill. We have Ethan Page. Look at what they did with Lexis King, dude. He was an absolute nobody in AEW, getting no time. Now he's a great character in NXT. He's a Heritage Cup champion. Motor City Machine Guns. Penta. Jordan Grace, who wasn't even part of the WWE. Joe Hendry. Zachary Wentz getting that insane match against Wes Lee and getting his own entrance with the with the X Division title. There is just now I know it's a term that gets thrown around a lot, for the God's sake, it's the name of a pay-per-view. Forbidden Door. There's a lot of people that think that the Forbidden Door is like people just crossing all over the place, right? I feel like the WWE's version of the Forbidden Door is open, which is the ability and the desire to want to work with other organizations. We've seen it with TNA. We've seen them send people to GCW. We have Omos over in Noah Wrestling. Right?
Killing it
over there. But it's also the acknowledgement of other wrestling organizations existing, and when characters flow into the WWE system, acknowledging their past. That is about as Forbidden Door as it will ever get with the WWE. And I'm glad that it's there. I'm glad that that portal exists so that everything that happens in wrestling is canon. You want to know why I'm excited about something like this, Sancho? Because imagine people like Matt Cardona coming back. Now, all of the sudden, we don't have to change his name back to Zack Ryder. We respect what he did under the name of Matt Cardona in the Indies, and we can bring the indie god over here with that same character style, the Deathmatch King, whatever it might be, even if it is a WWE-ized version of him. To me, this Penta segment, the promo, the match, the overall presentation just speaks volumes as to the type of era that we're in with this regime.
I think as well, when you talk about Matt Cardona, I think he was on a podcast and he was saying that he has never been offered an AEW contract yet. And he's basically a free agent still. Royal Rumble right around the corner. I think Matt Cardona would be a great pop, a great addition to that Rumble. But yeah, dude, one of the things that I remember, I used to work at Circus City, and there was a guy that I worked with, and he was like, there's only one thing that you always want when you're working for a job, no matter what it is, no matter how crappy it is, no matter how great it is. It's just job security. You want to feel like you're being taken care of. You want to feel like you're being respected. You could get paid the most amount of money. You could get the best hours. But if you're not feeling like you're respected, you're not going to stick around there at the end of the day, right? It's just so much money can do for you. Respect goes a long way. Tender love and care goes a long way. And I feel that Penta is definitely getting that. And that's going to open up the eyes, like you mentioned, to everybody out there. Any that's a free agent, the Josh Alexanders, the Mooses of the world, the Joe Hendrys of the world, the Jordan Graces of the world, like people that could actually bring value. And they always say the WWE always wants people that are already established, but they're no longer doing the Vincification of it. You know what I'm saying? They're no longer trying to put something together that of their own accord. The only people that they kind of like the way that got their own samey type of vibe is Nakamura. Nakamura came over. He had the same kind of, he had a new song, which was sick, but they let him be Nakamura from New Japan, right? They didn't try to change him in any kind of way, but
that was the Triple H regime of NXT. Not even Vince.
I think the only thing, though, that Vince probably got gun shy about Nakamura is that Nakamura versus AJ Styles, don't know whose fault it was, did not deliver on Mania.
And then, but then they did eventually Vincify him with the whole "I know speak English." Like, really? Like, this is where so it always ends up that way.
Right. But I think Vince was like, "All right, I let him try to do his thing. Let's let him win the Rumble. Let's go ahead and give him everything that y'all think he wants and what y'all convinced me that he is." And they did not deliver at Mania. And the same thing with AJ Styles. I think AJ Styles is the only other guy as well that kept everything. They acknowledged all his accolades and they let him keep all the ring gear and everything that is the same. I think we're going to get more of that. And that's a W. Like it's not just going to be this sparingly type of situations where you have to be like the tippity top of everybody. Now it's the mid cards, it's the tag teams. Like that is going to be really cool. And we're going to get some really cool blending. My only thing is, I think when the last shoe drops is when WWE acknowledges AEW accolades. Like if they say this guy's an AEW champion, like that's going to be a different kind of situation. I don't think they're there yet, but they kind of tiptoe around it. Like they always go, that other place, or you guys are in the right place. Just want to let you know that.
I think you made a great point. Before, you had to be the tippity top of the mountain outside of the WWE to even be allowed to bring your gimmick, your shtick to the WWE, right? AJ Styles was a great example. I feel like had he came over in like 2020, I feel like they would have given that love to Kenny Omega probably or something like that. Oh my
God, right? Don't do that to me.
They probably would have. But now it's like, you could be this, you could be a tag team. Yeah. You can be the Motor City Machine Guns over there. And yeah, we want you to just be the Motor City Machine Guns over here. We don't want you to be the Pistol Pete Bros here in WWE. We want you to be whoever you were over there. And it's just so funny to think about, like thinking about the past, like, man, imagine if we could have gotten that, how much easier the early years of Daniel Bryan would have been if they had to just let him be Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon coming over from Ring of Honor, instead of making him this loser like they did in the early portions of that
CM
NXT.
Punk too?
CM Punk as well. There's some interesting examples where like
go further. Booker T could have been like a world champion right off the rip. Raven as well could have been the same kind of guy. Like there's so many gimmicks that they got tweaked a little bit and they were just ruined, man. It breaks my heart when I watch the Royal Rumble and Booker T walked in and just gets stunned and out immediately. Same thing with ECW, your favorite wrestler, Rob Van Dam, right? Tommy Dreamer. Yes, they kept their same names and everything, but they weren't the same guy. Even Sabu. He allowed them to do the Sabu things, but it wasn't the same Sabu. Yeah. Sandman came out in the Rumble, had a sick entrance, hits kendo stick Jeff Hardy out.
Get out of here.
Come on. Get out of here. But what were you going to say?
What I was going to say is that, like, it's interesting hearing Punk and his promos talk about how he was a catalyst for change. And I feel like this is one of those visual representations of like, yeah, things have changed in the WWE. I'm not saying Punk caused this, but I'm saying that the grievances that Punk had against the person that was the cause of those grievances, Vince McMahon, and seeing Vince McMahon being out of the picture, it's like, oh man, dude, maybe Punk was kind of right all along, that Vince was kind of holding back. Maybe he was the millionaire that should be a billionaire, as he did end up becoming a billionaire though, but you get the sentiment. There was a lot of things holding back that company, and I think it all started with Vince McMahon. And it just makes me happy to see how the Penta treatment is probably going to trickle down to more things down the line over the next several years for more stars coming over.
Do you feel that I know I'm not trying to make it about AEW, WWE, but when AEW takes WWE talent, I mean, they do put them in great, strong positions. I mean, most of the WWE talent are champions in AEW or have touched gold. I think you got to say the most successful AEW or WWE to AEW is Jon Moxley, right? Like Jon Moxley is the guy that's at the top of the mountain. You do have great examples of downgrades from Edge to Cope. I mean, there's some things that haven't worked out, but I don't think it's necessarily an AEW issue. I just think that sometimes you hope when you're transferring from WWE to AEW that you get to show things that you weren't able to do. You did not have my time. And I think great examples are Shelton Benjamin, the entire Hurt Syndicate with MVP and Bobby Lashley. Like their guys are doing well. Swerve Strickland, another great example of a guy that's doing really well coming from the WWE. I think Ricochet is finding his footing as well. Mercedes Moné is finally coming around and finding her own as the CEO, right? There's some great examples of WWE talent working in AEW, and then there's also some examples of a little bit of a downgrade of what they were at in terms of level when it comes to their WWE status.
But we have to give credit to AEW. They started this trend. They're the ones that created the, like, hey, yeah, you made your name somewhere else. We're going to piggyback off the name that you built. Mostly because they don't have the legacy to be able to, like, hey, we're just going to restart you because this is the WWE or this is AEW and how we do things in AEW. They have to piggyback off of the legacies that have been created in other places in order to be able to get the most out of their programming. But it's a good blueprint for the WWE to follow, and I feel like it's working like a charm for everybody now. But you have to give the flowers to AEW because they started this trend.
It did. I mean, there were. If you had to go back during the days where when WWE talent was losing to WCW, and I think the reason why it was different during those days because it felt like the WCW was getting a lot of the big names, and they were stealing like the Kevin Nash, they were stealing Scott Hall, they had Hogan, they had Ric Flair, and then WWE was scrambling, and they were losing the Monday Night Wars so much, and it took this appearance of Stone Cold to turn it around. When Stone Cold popped on the scene, that's when the entire Monday Night Wars changed. But I don't know. That's the thing. The difference between WWE and AEW is I don't know if they're competing right now. Like, it's not the same as WCW and WWE where they were going blow for blow. They're trying to hold on to it. AEW is, like we talked about before, is regaining their footing. And with Kenny Omega back, I think they could definitely bring eyes back with the Max deal as well. All I know is we're in for a treat, man. If you're a free agent, you should be able to be happy that there is 2 places you can go to that offer the same amount, almost close to the same amount of money. Dare I say AEW may offer more for your talent, but it's so good, dude. I wish Speedball Bailey was in the WWE, man. I know he most likely could go to AEW, dude, but Speedball Mike is so sick, dude. That guy is awesome.
He's awesome. He absolutely is fantastic. But yeah, man, it's a new era, the Penta era.
As he said. Dude, I love Penta. Netflix.
Are we gonna start doing Penta voice now?
Well, it's so cool to me because when I think the biggest thing about Penta that he said in his promo, when he said in Spanish, was that I am proof that a Mexican can succeed. Like, hell yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. As a Mexican American myself, is like, dude, yes, you're at the tippy top of your game, and I know that people love to dumb down things to like, oh, now he's a WWE soldier and he's proud to be WWE. He's like,
he's working.
Have his moment,
let him work.
Let him work, dude. Let him. The man's got his paycheck. He had his family in the front row. And when you see that his family takes pictures of them dressed as Penta for family pictures every now and then, like, that's cool, dude. He's a good addition. It is a shame that his brother's not there, Ray. But I'm telling you, there's gonna be a moment where Penta's getting worked, and you're like, Penta's gonna lose, or Penta's about to die, and then guess who comes in? It's Ray Phoenix, and we're gonna be all over again, dude. It's so good, man. So good.
It's gonna be great. Let's talk about more great stuff, because we could talk about Punk, Seth, and Drew, that segment, but really,
and Sancho Mania.
At the end of the day, that segment was just to tell us how stacked the Rumble is. Punk goes out there, says he's going to be in the Rumble, teases, and I hope we get it, a moment between him and Cena at the Rumble, which I desperately want to see. Sancho's the biggest Cena hater, hates Make-A-Wish, clearly.
I don't hate Cena. I hate
him.
You. I hate your...
Thanks. That makes me feel so much better.
You and your Santi glaze of Cena. It is so alarmingly glazy. It is bright nuclear glaze that it is concerning. It is not organic. It is something that maybe you should get it looked at type of glaze, brother.
So he decided to talk about the greatest of all time, John Cena, and says that he can see him, and I cannot wait for Punk and the GOAT to face off against each other in the Rumble. But we have Punk, we have Cena, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, best to ever do it, best to ever lace him up. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, all confirmed for the Rumble. In just those 5 names alone, Sancho, goddamn, brother. This Royal Rumble is insanely stacked.
From the X account of John Cena, trust always has to be earned every day, even when it's inherited. Ooh, 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 ooh. Don't forget, also, more McValues out there. Just got to go find it.
Is that an actual tweet?
Well, he's a McDonald's poster boy now.
That's awesome. I like that one. That's good. That's good. Okay, so let's talk about
stacked roster.
The stacked roster, the stacked Rumble. It's gonna be stacked for the women's side as well. We're expecting surprise entries in the men's Rumble as well. But let's just talk about the 5 men that we have, because all 5 of those guys are guys that could win the Rumble. I don't think 100%. Cena wins the Rumble, but like if he does, it wouldn't be surprising either, because there's a tale, there's a story, there's something that he's chasing that is WrestleMania worthy. Same with CM Punk chasing that WrestleMania main event. That's WrestleMania worthy. CM Punk, Seth Rollins just screwing CM Punk over. That's a story. WrestleMania worthy. Drew McIntyre, he himself has turned himself into a WrestleMania guy, and Roman Reigns is the perennial WrestleMania main eventer. We have so many guys that you could create something from this Rumble victory and be realistic and believable, and everyone would get behind should they win the Rumble. And I feel like WWE, rightfully so, and I'm glad that they are really holding things close to their chest as to where things can go from the Rumble. I think it stems from one of these 5 guys, but even if one of these 5 guys wins, I don't know where it goes, right? If back in the 2013 Rumble, when Cena won, we're like, well, obviously it's The Rock. Duh, obviously. Oh, you knew. Stop it. That's when he goes off to face The Rock.
Great. I haven't seen the Rumble. I tried to be a pure analyst, critical guy. I don't even know who main events that year. I now you ruined. You sullied it, my friend.
I totally did. Oh, well, whatever, man. It is what it is. You want me to spoil the next few as well?
No, it's fine. No, I knew that. I knew that John Cena's only won 2 Rumbles, one in 08, and obviously
this upcoming one. In so many cases, there's just like, okay, we know if you win who you're going to go after, right? We know who you're going to go after.
Except if you're Cody Rhodes, if you win, you might have someone like a TKO board member come in and give you a big hug and take your spot and then whisper sweet little nothings in his ear. I love you. And then he just gives a handshake, you know?
What if he whispered that Samoan scream that he's been doing? Oh, or whatever it is that he does.
Chihu.
Chihu. What if he
said?
Whispered that in his ear?
I think he whispered, Hail Hydra.
It's good.
Dude, Rock would be Hydra in this world, right?
He would be. He absolutely would be.
He feels like Hydra, right? He feels like way. As someone that's been watching a lot of Rumbles, I was trying to rack my brain. When has it been this stacked where everybody deserved to win? Because I had a fleeting thought when I was watching the Royal Rumble, and the whole point of you being in the Rumble is so that you get to win in main event WrestleMania. There are times in some Rumbles where that doesn't happen. I mean, the last one that I saw was when Sheamus won. He did not feel like a main eventer winning because of the main event of that was John Cena and The Rock. Like there's some instances like that. And then you expect every entrant to be a threat or a contender or a story or maybe a chance for them to beat the champion at the time. And I think like we're getting there. The roster is almost a quarter, I would say even. I know we mentioned these 5, but I would say at least 10%, like 10 wrestlers have a good shot of it. A third, I would say, could win it. Like realistically, like if main event Jay Uso was in, I would think he would have a shot to win. If
he might not be in it if he wins the world title. But then that puts Gunther in there. And then all of a sudden, so whichever one of those two's in the Rumble has to be a big contender.
Like Kevin, Sammy could have a shot to win, right? By luck. There's a lot of carrying. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. The only way Karrion Kross could win is he could do a legacy thing where, the Final Testament is all standing and they just start throwing everybody out, and then it's Karrion. Don't roll your eyes at me. It's happened a lot of factions, all right? There's a lot of...
they always lose. They always lose.
Not Legacy. Legacy didn't lose.
Oh, that's true. Legacy did end up winning. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, you had Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes helping at the time. But there's so many fascinating things that could happen from this Rumble. But I'm trying to, I need your help. And I haven't gone past, like I mentioned, 2012. But I can't think of a stacked roster. I mean, 92 comes to mind because that's
a big one.
They have the Ric Flairs, they have the Hogans, they have all the old school guys mixed with the new school guys of that generation. So that's always considered the most stacked roster.
2001 probably is that other one, that Austin one that he won.
Yes, 2001. That is up there on my Rumble rankings. I think 2007 was solid.
That one's insane. The final 10 of that Rumble is crazy because that's like Taker, Edge, Shawn, Cena's in there. It's crazy.
And I'm thinking of that. I mean,
Batista's in that one too, I think.
Right. And then 03, you do have the Brock Lesnar's, right? I think when it comes down to this Rumble, the reason why it feels stacked is they still could add more. Brock Lesnar could come back. I know people roll their eyes at it, but he could come back. He's still available. Goldberg can be it. I think the The Rumble in the Alamo Dome,
Bro,
not
stop
the
trying to
first
make
one.
Goldberg thing happen. Stop
I'm not
trying to
trying
make it happen.
I'm just saying. I think the Alamo Dome that had 40 entrants, not the first time they had 40, but there was in the Alamo Dome, and I remember it. That was the one where Roman Reigns, because I was at it. Roman Reigns was booed every time that he would throw someone out. We did not want Roman to win that one, and Randy beat him in that one. That one was a pretty stacked one too. That one did have Taker at some moments as well. But in terms of star power, it's getting up there. It might be the most stacked of all time. And I'm not trying to speak hyperbolically. I'm just, as someone who's been watching them for the past 20 weeks, I think I could say that almost confidently.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you. I'm incredibly excited for this Rumble. Not just the stacked nature of it, but just the unpredictability of who could win, the unpredictable nature of if that person wins, what are they doing? It's a rare situation. It's a breath of fresh air, right? It's a really nice breath of fresh air to have this level of ambiguity going into a Rumble and even post Rumble.
Do you believe The Rock enters the Rumble?
I'm not setting myself up for disappointment anymore. I'm no longer expecting The Rock ever. If he comes back, great, fantastic. But after his nonsense promo on NXT, literally 15 minutes of pure hot garbage, he said that like, I didn't know what I was going to come out there and say. We could tell, brother. You just went out there and you just were just saying catchphrases. You were pausing for the sake of like thinking what was your next thing to say. You didn't need to be on that show, considering that show already had 2 major title changes and Julia and Obafemi winning. The Rock, I just don't see with this version that we've been getting on TV where he fits. And it would be funny, borderline funny, comical, if he were to come back and all of a sudden he's the final boss and he's Mama Rhodesing again and beating people up in the ring. It's like, what do we have do you have like personality disorder here, Rock? Like, are you just jumping between, wrestlers inherently, if you think about like them, they do kind of have personality disorders.
Welcome to the world of the Sancho stretch. All right. It's a new segment, brand new. You didn't even know about it.
Didn't know about it.
I'm going to stretch something out here.
I'm going to stretch you out.
Does it feel like this Rock is a weird version of the Learning Tree Jericho? Where it's like a mix, right, of this corporate version. Yeah, right? It kind of feels like he's dipping into this weird way that if he is this corporate TKO board member, Dwayne, running around doing this thing, and then like, I don't know. It's tough to navigate because Jericho gets go away heat too in AEW for his own things. And I don't think Rock will ever reach that point. But if Rock continues these appearances where he eats up main event time, does really nothing, right? Taking the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre main event, NXT, did he have the main event segment, right? He closed, right? And it just ended with like a, thank you for coming.
Yeah, right? Literally, dude. It was 15 minutes of thanks for being here.
Right? Because so like putting over NXT was like, Rock, we already know it's cool, brother. Like, what are you doing? But I understand. He's just in the streams nebulous. And there's this internet want that he enters at 31.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. I would love it, but I'm done predicting it, dude. I'm not gonna. I'm not.
He's gonna come back. He just went for a carton of milk, brother. He's gonna come back. Don't be that way. It's Dwayne, brother. Come on. And you know what? What I'm tired of The Rock telling me to sit down and enjoy the ride. Okay, that's a dad thing to say. I'm a dad. I know what it's like when you have to put your foot down a little bit, and that's what The Rock's doing. And then people are just like back on board, like, yeah, that's right. All the people saying that the final boss cosplay, he told you to sit down and enjoy the ride. Well, brother, do you know where this ride's going? Like where are we going, brother? Let me know. Bro, I enjoyed the final boss too much. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is.
Imagine getting kidnapped and like, am I supposed to like stop being angry that I got kidnapped?
Should
I stop screaming in agony and in fear simply because my kidnapper says, just enjoy the ride, Santi. You're good. It's fine.
You were kidnapped, remember? You spent like weeks in Colombia.
Oh, in Colombia, yes, allegedly. Yeah. I was kidnapped by various cartel groups. I remember that. But yeah,
and they made you continue streaming.
They just had me farming, streaming. They're taking all my Twitch revenue. But dude, like, I'm so jaded. Maybe I am. Maybe I've just become a cynical
sourpuss.
a sourpuss. But like these sayings of enjoy the ride or let Papa H cook, I'm like, I'm sorry, but like I am maybe I'm a demanding wrestling fan. Is it crazy to expect good episodes every time? Why should we swallow and eat bad episodes simply just to get the good episodes somewhere down the line? Why should I have to deal with this crappy promos from The Rock that lead to nothing simply because the ride is going to be good at some point when we eventually get on it? I don't feel like I need to sit back and enjoy the crappy versions and parts of the ride. I should, as a consumer, as somebody that pays money, well, you know, Netflix and all this stuff for cable packages, I don't think it's crazy to expect it to be good all around.
You changed.
I have changed for the better, man. I'm a man of the people. I'm the Bernie Sanders of WWE. I'm expecting the best for my people.
A moment of your time, Santi.
I'm once again asking for your financial support.
Hey, not bad.
Not bad, right? Not a bad Bernie Sanders.
Not a bad. Hey, well, Bernie, oh my goodness. Hey man, I just think like the Rock's in a strange place. I think we wouldn't be saying these things if The Rock didn't do Netflix as the final boss. If he was Dwayne and he came out as Dwayne NXT.
Agreed, man. I agreed. Imagine, bro. You're a little kid and your parents get you Spider-Man to come out to your party and be Spider-Man, and he's in the full Spider-Man suit, but then he's just acting like Peter Parker the whole time. You'd be pissed. You'd be pissed as a kid. It's like, no, you're dressed as Spider-Man. Be Spider-Man. Why are you crying about Uncle Ben right now, bro?
I tried to enjoy your ride there, a metaphor. Did not like it.
What didn't you like about it?
I think Spider-Man still cares about Uncle Ben.
Yeah, but like at a kid's birthday party when the kid's expecting the amazing Spider-Man and he's just sobbing about Uncle Ben. What are you doing here? Get out of here. Stop crying. You're the amazing. You're little bitch boy Spider Boy.
God, 8-year-olds, dude. They're so aggressively mean. So in this metaphor, you're the 8-year-old.
I'm the 8-year-old. I got the final boss coming to my birthday party, and he's acting like corporate Rock. Why are you dressed like the final boss then?
Oh, okay.
See, the metaphor works.
All right.
Well, like, Rock, why are you crying about Uncle Ben?
So chances are he's not in your Rumble.
Chances are, if I'm forced to bet money, let's put that scenario, I would say no.
Okay. Now, can I say something maybe controversial? I don't want Penta in the Rumble. I don't. I feel that he should be hot and stay hot. Give him a match at Rumble, maybe. Give him a #1 contender match. Give him something to do besides be in the Rumble, because the only reason you would have him in the Rumble is just for a stare down with Rey Mysterio, just for that split second.
Stare
get that
down
action
with
going,
Jacob
right?
Fatu.
Wait. What'd you say?
A stare down with Jacob Fatu, brother.
Jacob Fatu could enter the Rumble and stare down every single person.
Know.
I honestly think Jacob Fatu gets the Brock Lesnar treatment, where he's standing in the ring and he's just throwing out everybody for like a good 5 entrants, right? He's just going to destroy the lower card or tag team people. They're going to come in. So that's the Jacob Fatu. But yeah, that's the only reason why you put Penta, to show you like, ooh, he could be there, he could be there, he could be that. I don't want him to see him. He would have to get tossed out by like a Drew McIntyre level, a Seth Rollins. He needs to be tossed by the main event scene for me to go, ooh. Even if he gets tossed out by CM Punk, because he's had a match with CM Punk, I would love that. But to see Penta get tossed out by a Big Show type, that's not what I want, brother. And I could be traumatized from Big Show, but I just think that Penta's value, it should keep sacred for a little while, at least one PLE cycle.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's totally dependent on how they want it, because obviously he's not winning. But if they find a cool way to eliminate him that sets up something big for Penta, then I'm down for it.
He can't be eliminated by Chad. I know that's the easy thing to do, to start to rekindle their feud again. But no, I don't want that, and I don't know. I feel like there's more that can, like, you could lose a little bit of aura with Penta unless he gets like an epic stare down with Ray. You're like, oh, wait a minute.
I mean,
there's something here.
They had AJ Styles get eliminated by Kevin Owens. Like, that's the type of name
Yes,
that I'd be looking for.
Yes. Even if Penta gets eliminated by Ray, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But I just part of me doesn't want to lose momentum on this Penta train. I think Penta stocks are so high right now.
Are we both on this train? Are you and I just merrily down the train tracks together, choo-choo, telling people to get on?
Vamos.
Hey, man, how times have changed. Remember when our trains just like would not cross and you were on a different
train?
You
mean carrying cross?
And then it was a different train altogether. Remember those days? Remember the heat that we had?
Yeah, but remember when I put aside the differences and I reached out my hand, I said, come on board. Remember that? No, this is all because of me. It's all because of me that we're on the same train.
Everybody loves the train conversations. There's not anybody that listens to this that
What's train in Spanish?
Tren. That's it. Tren. Okay. Or if you could say ferrocarril, which is like no, that's railroad.
Okay.
El tren en el ferrocarril. It's a tough word to say. Really, really hard word to say.
You ever thought about doing bilingual content?
I have. My parents really push for it. Like, my dad's like, you should be making this stuff in Spanish. But it's like, I'm already spread so thin. So thin. But that, like, I wouldn't be able to produce Spanish content to the same level and the same schedule as I would my English content.
What about shorts?
Maybe. But the point for me for shorts content is to guide them to long form content, and if there's nowhere to guide them, it feels kind of pointless to do short form content yet when I don't have long form content to send them to. Not yet, at least.
Does your dad often watch your content?
No.
Does he always have advice though?
Always has advice.
That's the dad thing. That's right.
Always has advice. I mean, my dad's been following my stuff for ever, right? He's the one that told me to quit my job, dude.
Really?
Yeah. He's the one that's like, your corporate job, you can get that back whenever you want. You got to just jump in, and if you fail, you fail. But at least you fail at your
wrestling thing.
The wrestling thing.
Oh,
wow,
yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that told me. Mijo. And then I told my son, you got to grab life by the horns.
Oh, that's Santi, my little Santi.
Oh, man.
Are you gonna turn on your dad one day, like good old Dom?
Just chair to the back.
Yeah, you've done it before. It's in your past.
That's true. I do have that dog in me.
Can we talk? Can we put a pause real quick? And I know it's not on our schedule, but recently, we're as reactors to wrestling content. We're always on randomly every now and then under the fire of the internet. And I think that what I'm talking about is AJ Francis coming out against Zilla Fatu and Mr. Tesh coming out with a reaction. I feel that sometimes when people say things, they don't understand why we do it, right? When I do a reaction content, and I'm speaking for myself, I'm not for you, it's a gateway for people to introduce to my watch parties or to other content. And it's a great way for me to engage in wrestling at a more intimate level, like I mentioned before, and get locked in. Because if I'm not doing reacting content, I'm not paying attention as heavily as I am, and I'm not looking for details, right? Because of this podcast. But when I'm not doing that and I'm watching on my phone or on my couch, I lose so much stuff because I'm like messing around. I'm on my phone. I'm looking over there. I walk away from the TV. So that's why I do reaction content. And I think when it comes down to, even on TNA stuff, I mean, because AJ Francis reached out to us and he was like, hey, why don't you do reaction content to us? For TNA, we try to do the TNA partnership. I thought it was great. They allowed us to watch it on stream. I thought it was really cool. But there was no way that AJ Francis, and I'm just speaking for myself, told me to amp anything up. You just said do what you do.
Yeah.
And just react to our content. And so I think there is a place for streamers reacting. The WWE certainly does think that as well. I mean, I've never seen them do streamers react to blank package before, and they did that on the socials, and they did it on Smackdown. We're on the last Smackdown. So I think it's a new form of presentation of content. It's a new way for the WWE to kind of put what's been happening in all different mediums. Every medium now has reactors to it. There's even anime people who are reacting to anime. There's even NFL people reacting to NFL plays. every reactions have been around for a long time, and now just the old media is capitalizing on it. And I think it's an ecosystem, right? One hand washes the other. We all in a symbiotic relationship. They don't put streamers' names on there. They don't put you up on that high of a pedestal. They don't even acknowledge that your name is Santi, for crying out loud, right? It's the people. And there is no payment. There's no exchange of payment. There's no like, hey, here you go. Thank you for so much of your content. Because as someone that worked in copyright and worked on that system before for media, they have to get permission and they have to write a contract to use our likeness. But there is a silent handshake agreement. This is between the WWE and everybody saying like, hey, you can use your content. You can use us. You can use yours. Avoid the automatic systems and avoid the TikTok systems, and we're all hunky dory here, brother.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. I mean, I've got some thoughts on this because I've just kind of been not really engaging in this conversation
Plus, it's Twitter. It's hard. You can't post something. Your context there. This is what a podcast is for, brother.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I without sounding, like a narcissistic, person, I think it's fair to say that I'm the biggest name in that space, in the reaction space. And I can tell you confidently, even as the biggest name in that space, I've never been paid a dime to react to any professional wrestling ever. Mm-hmm. It's never even been offered, funnily enough. Never even so much has been offered to react to professional wrestling. I will say, I think reaction content is dog water to a degree. If that's all you want to do, then you're not a serious content creator. I do believe that you need to see it as a funnel. You need to see it as reaction content being this big net that you're casting to try and send out your personality out there, and then continue and then trying to take that person that you capture with the reaction net and bringing them down the funnel of Twitch, then YouTube, then maybe even Patreon, your podcast, whatever it might be. That's why I do reaction content. It is the best form of marketing for what I do that actually is difficult, that takes time in the long form content. But also it is fun. It is fun to do. And like you said, it is a nice two birds with one stone. It allows me to watch the show with a community so that I can have those opinions on the long form content that I do. And it gives me a reason to always sit there live in the moment watching the show. If you don't like the content, that style of content, it was never for you in the first place. But clearly there's a massive market for it because it is enormous. Hundreds, millions of views every single episode of Raw, SmackDown, and even NXT are generated through reaction content. But I do believe that if you're a content creator and that's all you do, you're not serious about being a content creator, because it is the lowest form of content. It is the lowest hanging fruit. So I always encourage people to do more. I just don't think that it's a big enough issue for people to care about. Like, you think that it's lame, you think that it's cringe. Guess what? Just don't watch it. It's not for you. Go watch the stuff that you do like. Commenting on it and saying that you hate it, making up just straight up lies about people being paid, it's just not doing you any favors. I literally, I have blinders to this stuff. I just don't comment on it. You cannot get to me with it, because at the end of the day, I'm doing content for viewers, not content for other content creators. And it's other content creators that are commenting on this type of content not being up to their standard. Brother, I don't care, because I don't make the content for you. I don't make the podcast for other content creators. I make the podcast, I do the reactions, I do my long form videos for viewers that want to see this stuff. Not for you, not for another content creator. If I was making content for content creators, I'd get no views, because there's for every content creator, there's millions more viewers than there are content creators.
It kind of reminds me, that's an interesting thing that you said, making content for content creators, because there are streamers that I enjoy watching because they feel like a chef after hours at a restaurant, or it feels like I'm watching someone who gets how to entertain me as a content creator. There's no bells or whistles. It's really solid, and it's, I don't know, it's a different kind of vibe. But whereas, when I'm doing, for example, I'm doing Fortnite. I love streaming Fortnite. It's where I make my bread and butter. But it's I know it's not for everybody. You know what I mean? But I know the Fortnite audience, and they I'm a name in that space. when I do wrestling, it's like that's for me, man. I love wrestling, dude. Wrestling is I think since I was a kid, I absolutely love this thing, and I'm so happy to be able to garner an audience that we're working with, right? And especially the Patreons on Wrestling is Cool. But when I go to my content creator friends, it's always like, oh yeah, I'm doing wrestling. It's like a different kind of the thing. I know it's not for everybody. So when I get like rated from like a big name or someone that I know that. Well, in the Fortnite space, I'm like, and I'm watching Smackdown. I'm like, hey guys, I'm just watching Smackdown. I'm nerding out here in wrestling. So if that's something you're interested in, I know that not a lot of you are, and so the raid will go from like a big chunk to like really small, really quickly because it's not for everybody. I'm here nerding out, and that's the thing that's what I think reaction content is for me. It's me nerding out, geeking out. Do I try me personally when I see people on the shows? And I'm like, oh man, I didn't get picked. I don't see that. I was like, oh, I got to react harder. That's not what it is.
I think some people do. I do think
some people do.
I don't. I don't care about getting on the shows.
Yeah,
I care. It doesn't
yeah.
impact anything. I care about what we do. I care about our community. I care about fostering our business. And I don't think that getting on those shows furthers it. I feel like it justifies what we do, sure.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if people see people getting on those shows and say, the way to do it is to lose my mind over anything that happens. Maybe that is the case. I can't speak for everybody, but maybe it does happen.
Truthfully, we don't know why we're picked. To be honest with you, like there's there's no reach out. There's no like, hey, we want to use your there's none of that. There's no parameter. And I think as well as because I've been in Fortnite commercials before for a new season. I totally have. Like my name and likeness and everything. And it sure boosts a little, but it doesn't last unless you're not making that content to keep people around. Like it's the new society as a content creator. In the past, YouTube subscribers, you could keep someone locked in because you're constantly uploading. That's all you needed to do. Now in the world that everybody is a content creator on their phone or whatever, you got to have good engaging content throughout the entire time. And I think the WWE realizes the reason why it's capitalizing on this venture is because the numbers don't lie. 1 million views on TikTok just for me listening to Penta's reaction every now and then, interjecting or just being in that moment. That is what the reaction captures: is me in the moment, you in that moment, the people that were watching, and now it's a little historical piece, a little fragment in time captured for TikTok that we could always reference. But now I had to delete it because of copyright. But 1 million views, dude, you can't ignore the power of 1 million views for Penta's first promo, and that is a great barometer for the WWE to say, wait, okay, the people like Penta. Look at how many views he gets here.
Speaking of barometers, Twitter is like not a barometer. It feels sometimes that like, oh my goodness, Twitter is like all over me, all over this. They're negative about this. But then you leave Twitter and it's like hunky dory. Everybody loves whatever it is that thing was. So you speak of barometers. Twitter sometimes gets used as one. It is not. It is not a barometer of how the general fan base feels about things.
Even in real life, like my wife's not on Twitter. My dad's not on Twitter. There's so many. Twitter is a space where people want to engage with other people, and oftentimes the engagement choice is always like negativity. It's just something interesting I want to talk about because I feel like it is something. If you're listening out there and you want to do reaction content, there's a lot of hurdles, and there is a lot of people already doing it, and it is something that you're frankly late to the party because the party could go end at any time, and make sure you're doing it for a purpose to bring something into something else. It's some way to mobilize people.
Time to go mobile.
It's a way to mobilize people to do that. And if you're listening and you're doing it for like, I want to be famous through it, that's a route that
you're screwed, brother.
Yeah, that's a route it's tough. But Santi is right. It is low hanging fruit, and we acknowledge that. I'm not saying that it's hard work. I think one of the things that people do not acknowledge that though is that there is a little bit of craftsmanship in editing a reaction clip. There's a little bit of
Not
je ne sais
that
quoi. Yes,
much.
there is.
Nah,
Yes, there
I
is.
feel like there's like it's like the know-how of like knowing when to start it and knowing when to say the right thing, when
Right.
to interject. I feel like there
Right.
is a little
There's
bit,
a little bit
sure.
of a dance and when to start it, when to start the clip, like what's the moment that's going to be the thing that catches your attention within those moments, what's something that's worth not playing in, like this part of the match is not like, because I learned too, because I used to do my reaction clips in ways where it's like, all right, include this part of the match, this part of the match, that part of the match, this big moment. But no, it's like mainly like a little bit of the end that you want to include, and when to cut it off, it's a factor too. There's a lot of the nuances that get the max retention time, is what I'm trying to say. It's not just simply like hit record, dot record, that's it, the last minute of the match. You could do it that way, but it's not going to be the same result of a clip going 10,000 views to a clip going 100,000 views and 1,000,000 views. The subject is there, but if you butcher the editing or you talk over it too much or you're not engaged in enough, you could totally tank a reaction clip.
I agree.
I'm just trying to say there's a little bit of a nuance. It's not
Sure.
it's not
Yeah, there's
just,
you got to put a little bit of seasoning in the pre-cooked
look,
meal.
you could, anyone could paint a wall. Am I wrong? You could paint a wall.
Sure,
There's ways
sure.
to paint the wall wrong, brother. You know what I mean? You gotta how many coats on that wall you gotta put on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The other last thing that I'll mention on this is that like for people that think, oh man, people are making bank off of these short forms, they're making $0, brother. There's no money in short form reaction clips. It doesn't exist. The
There
money,
was,
the,
and
there
then it got
was
shut off.
the business aspect of things is what I mentioned, bringing people to other content. I'll be damned if anybody tries to call me lazy because of reaction content. Like clearly you don't know what I do if you're trying to just make an inference off of my reaction content. You were never my viewer. So why do I care about your opinion? If you call me lazy, you don't know that I make literally hundreds of hours of content, long form content a week. you don't know that. So your criticism falls on deaf ears if you try to call me that. It doesn't work. I acknowledge that reaction content is lazy, but I myself am not.
I would have to say this though. This is a great tool for indie wrestlers. Like it's a great tool for small promotions to do, because I think that Tesh's clip got like over 1,000,000 impressions on it or something, 1,000,000 views on Twitter. So it definitely got the name out there of that promotion, and it definitely amplified the signal of that feud of Zilla and AJ Francis, and Booker T was in that match too. So there's so many good things that could benefit from it. I think most promotions like GCW and all those things, I think they should try to embrace this. And I know TNA tried to do that as well with us on their road to their July pay-per-view event. There's good things that could happen. And I think, yeah, I would love to react to indie promotions if it was easily available and high quality and work with my schedule. Like I'm totally down. I don't necessarily need to, be paid to, but it's exciting to see that. I hope other promotions take note and see that if WWE is doing it, then others should do it. Because the NFL and the NBA are slowly embracing that too, but they just take a longer time to turn around that kind of, it's a lot of red tape to flip that around, considering that you need a express written consent from the NFL.
I always thought like, oh man, the SWAT team's gonna come here if I use a VHS tape to record this 2004 game between the Chargers and Patriots or something.
You know that like the pay-per-views had that big red logo in the WWF, right?
The FBI, dude, they had like the FBI logo as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Good
All
times,
right.
man. Good times.
Let's get back to wrestling. Lyra Valkyria, new women's intercontinental championship. Fun match between those two. I really, really liked it. They had good chemistry with one another. Obviously, like we don't know what storylines are going to look like, but I'm totally fine if this is just a workhorse championship. Like if it's just now we can give the women's mid-card matches on the show that mean something, that aren't just matches for the sake of matches. Maybe now we can actually give PFC something to chase so that they're not just attacking random women for the sake of running Monday Night Raw or whatever it might be. It just gives more women the ability to have matches that actually have narratives that are important to narrative on TV, not just we're going out there because we have a scheduled match, right? Like how many times I remember, especially in the 2010s, right? You're just watching Monday Night Raw and then Natalia's music hits. She has a 3-minute match that leads to absolutely nothing. Now with this Intercontinental Championship in the ecosystem, maybe even if it is a 3-minute match, but now they can have justifiably longer matches because women's mid-card matches, wins and losses can start to matter because of the existence of this Intercontinental Championship. And I'm personally happy that they picked Lyra. I was honestly fine either way. This was a win-win situation, but I feel like Lyra is the correct choice. And I think it's the correct choice for one reason, my friend, the Becky Lynch factor. I feel like Becky Lynch, when she comes back, she's going to be put into the IC title picture, and there's going to be a mentor versus student type of match, respectful feud that could, with the star power of Becky Lynch, drag the Intercontinental Championship and Lyra Valkyria with it into a potential WrestleMania match for the IC title. And that in itself is huge for Lyra. And more than anything, having a name like Becky Lynch going after the IC title helps solidify the importance of the IC title, having a first ballot Hall of Famer going after it, which Sancho is part of the reason why I'm not unconvinced that Charlotte Flair is going to be going after Chelsea Green when she comes back.
I was going to say that. Dude, that's kind of wild to me. That's, you know what that feels like? That's like if I have 5 HP and I need to heal up that 5 HP and I'm going to use a chug jug, brother. All right. That does 200 HP. All right. It does a lot of HP healing. It's overkill, Santi. There's a good chunk of our audience that knew exactly what I was talking about. It is overkill to do that for a name like Becky Lynch and a name like Charlotte Flair to put into the mid-card title. I don't think those mid-card titles need a legacy name to put up. They just need solid match work. Yeah. It's not going to fall on the wayside.
I'm not saying that they need to win, though. I'm saying those legacy names can lead to important matches, big name matches for the champions to help build the legacy of the IC title. Okay, I'm not saying put the title on Becky and Charlotte.
Well, because that is a trap then, because then you get the Gunther type of reign, you get the long Roman Reigns type of reign, or the Cody Rhodes reign. If you put a belt like that on Charlotte Flair, you cannot expect her to lose it so quickly. The same with Becky. I mean, that is the trap that you fall into if they do win those titles.
Becky won the NXT title and lost it in 2 months. Like,
true,
but it can be done.
It can be done, but I think what Becky did leave on a hard note. You know what I mean? Her last letter was not the strongest letter, and there's always people like, well, who's Rhea going to go after? Rhea Ripley, or who's going to be her next feud? And it could be Becky Lynch, but not a lot of people want to see that again because it didn't work out for Becky Lynch that time around. To go back to Lyra, I think it is going to be the working title. I think she is going to put banger matches. The only thing that they need to keep doing is got to give those matches like the number one contenders matches, and like all that stuff still needs to happen. You cannot have like a battle royal for the number one contender. Like it can't be into that realm. It needs to be long drawn out feuds. Like you mentioned with the PFC, I think PFC, the reason why their reign did not work out, like you mentioned, is they were fighting for the soul of Raw, but there was nothing to fight over against. Like you had Lyra, and who was her? She was with the house party. She was rolling with them too.
That's right. That's right. Yes. Right. Yeah. The party girls.
Yeah. She was defending against Katana and Candice. So Caden. So it didn't really work out in that aspect. But do you feel right now that the IC title is as strong as the United States title, though?
I funnily enough think that they're back on the same level. I think that Chelsea Green's kind of lackluster match against Michin didn't do many favors for the United States Championship. And the fact that the United States Championship is currently in a feud that was the feud that awarded the title to begin with means that the US title hasn't really taken a step forward yet. So I feel like they're on the same level at this point. I felt like the tournament for the women's US title was way more stacked, but now I do see the titles just on the same level right now.
So you need the legacy. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I do think that these titles need a legacy. These are brand new titles at the end of the day. They have the names of old men's titles, but they don't have the legacy that those old men's titles had. So having I'm not saying they need to win it, but big names going after these titles. Hell, we have a perfect example. Like, we thought that the women's US title tournament was way better and more prestigious, like that the championship was more prestigious simply off the back of the names that were in the tournament for the women's US title versus the women's intercontinental championship. That's a perfect example of using big names to elevate the importance of the championship. They don't need to win it like what happened in the US title. Bianca didn't win, Jade didn't win, Bayley didn't win, but those just being in the ecosystem of that title elevated that title to make it feel more important than it is.
But why use the names of Becky and Charlotte? Why not use Roxanne Perez? Why not use a Jordan Grace to be the one that kind of
because that's not legacy. That's like those are foundations. That's what you build the division off of. I'm talking like, hey, how can we give the division a nice morale boost, a quick set of like a reason for the fans to like, oh, you know these names, so you have to pay attention to it. Of course, Roxanne Perez, like those names that you mentioned, but like those are the names that you build off of, right? Those are pillars, those are foundations. They can become important champions. I feel like just in the initial existence of these titles, big names that already exist, that already have these major accolades being inserted into the conversation will help the championship in its initial run. Not saying in the long term. I don't need Charlotte to hold this thing for months and months and months, but let's say Charlotte does win, and imagine a Roxanne Perez beats her. Now we're talking. Now we're talking about taking major leaps and bounds to develop that division and develop the importance of the title.
What is the death of a belt? How does a belt die is what I want to ask you. Like the hardcore championship belt died. European died. Cruiserweight died. There's so many belts that end up just dying out of existence. So what can the WWE do to prevent that from the both IC and the United States women's title?
I don't think that you even need to look at championships that have disappeared. You can look at men's championships that we have now. The US title and the Intercontinental Championship, for lack of a better word, were dead. They were on the show. They were on the WWE website as like, this is your United States champion, but they didn't matter because there were no stories, no feuds. They rarely got on PLEs. If they got on a PLE, it was a 4 or 5 minute match because it was 15 match PLEs back in the day. Now we have the formula for what makes championships important: storylines, feuds, appearing on TV, making the champion look strong. We see it with the Intercontinental Championship. We see it with the US Championship right now. When we've seen it, they figured out the formula for the past 2 years. So how do you kill a championship if you don't give it storylines, if you don't give it feuds, if you don't give it good narratives, if you just put matches for the sake of matches without good narratives, and the matches end up under delivering as well because they're 5 minute matches? That's how you kill a championship. Just underwhelming TV in general.
Who saved the United States title in the men's side?
On the men's
John Cena?
No, John Cena was like, John Cena brought it back to life after it was dead, and then he lost it and it went back to being dead. But there we go. Legacy helps elevate the championship temporarily, but then you need foundations. There were no foundations after John Cena. In terms of who saved the United States Championship, kind of, honestly, LA Knight. LA Knight saved the United States Championship by having narratives, having feuds, having matches. He saved the United States Championship because it was in limbo for a really, really long time. And again, for lack of better words, dead. So that John Cena example.
I don't know. Logan Paul, maybe. I mean, he elevated it based on name alone. Based on name alone.
See, based on name alone, and didn't do anything with it. This is where I'm saying a Charlotte and a Becky can come in, prop the championship to importance, but then you need a proper handoff of power, right? You can't just let it go back down. And they did it really well in NXT, where she lost the NXT title to Lyra Valkyria, and then it kept going with importance to Roxanne Perez, now to Julia. It never lost steam after it was lost by Becky Lynch, but it was certainly elevated by Becky Lynch. But it kept that elevation.
And then Gunther, I see, right?
Of course, 100%.
Yeah. Gunther, can we talk about Gunther and Jay?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Jay, I knew he was gonna say, Jay, you're not on my level, Jay. What a crazy thing to tell Jay, that to expose you for what you really are, a really good tag team wrestler. Like,
our ring general is back. This is Gunther. This is the Gunther that we haven't had since he became little bitch boy. I don't know.
Shy Gunther.
Shy Gunther. I'm so glad we are back to shit-eating grin. I'm better than you, and I'm going to say it in the most polite way possible. I'm going to give you all of the backhanded compliments I could give you, just like you're a great tag team wrestler. Greatest insult masked in the form of a compliment. That's what Gunther is so good at, and I'm glad that this Gunther is back. Do you buy Jay Uso as a potential guy that could dethrone Gunther?
I do, because Gunther's greatest flaw, his Achilles heel, is his overconfidence.
Yes.
It's why he lost at WrestleMania against Sami when he was literally taunting Sami's wife at ringside. You know, that's the kind of thing that Gunther will always be his hubris. That is his greatest flaw. And if he flies too close to the sun, he always gets burned. I think Jay Uso, he can win, dude. It's Saturday Night Main Event. I think Saturday Night Main Event is one of those things that not necessarily anything could happen, but either you get dominated right away, like Gunther dominated both Finn and Damian. We had a great domination. I wouldn't even say Liv Morgan against Io. Or something random could happen, and it could be like a title change. We didn't see a title change last time. We did see a new champion win the United States title.
Don't count.
I don't count. So, but Jay Uso, he could win, dude. It's in San Antonio, too. San Antonio, dude. Part of me wants to go.
I'm going to say this, all right?
Yes.
I said this on my stream. Jay Uso doesn't need to win here, but Saturday night's main event needs Jay Uso to win here. Saturday night's main event needs its defining moment, and it needs it early on in its existence. Otherwise, it's going to become the thing you can miss. Because a lot of people felt that way after the first Saturday night's main event, that they didn't move the needle enough.
I was only there for Chelsea.
Sure, me too. If they pull the trigger on this at Saturday night's main event, you know what that does? I can't miss Saturday night's main event. I cannot miss the next 3 that happen for the rest of 2025. So Jay doesn't need the championship yet, because I feel like he could win this down the line later in 2025. In fact, I predicted in my 2025 predictions that he would win the world championship in 2025. He doesn't need it yet, but I almost feel like Saturday night's main event needs Jay Uso to win it to salvage the reputation of Saturday night's main event. Don't you think?
I think they gave us a hint that he's going to win just like how he beat Drew McIntyre. Remember the Raw on Netflix where Jay Uso was like,
the roll up.
And then he fell down like, ugh. And you're like, oh no, Jay's done. There's nothing he has left. And then he wins by the guile of the roll up, right?
You think he goes limp during
Why do you say it like that?
Well, that's what it is. Going limp.
Why do you say it like that?
I'm sorry, you're connecting it to mean something else.
Said, no, you could have said exhausted. He gasses himself out.
No, what if he goes limp during a sleeper hold, and then all of a sudden he goes like full erect and comes back to life and rolls Gunther? What do you think about that? Body just perks up, fully erect, ready to go.
That's not PG, brother.
I'm sorry that you're taking these regular English scientific words and connecting them to other things, other phallic things. You're disgusting, Sancho. Disgusting. You're the problem here, not me.
I'm sorry, you're a linguist all of a sudden. Your vernacular use of words are just seemingly who are traditionally used for erotic things are now used for wrestling.
I'm sorry that's how that your brain is so feeble that
come Tuesday, brother. Okay.
Back to Jay.
Back to Jay.
I could see it. I could see it.
The reson why I see it is because Jay Uso needs this lifeline. Dude, he needs a title. He's one of those guys that needs gold around his waist to amplify or to capture what it is to be main event Jay Uso. We saw what he looked like with gold. Great. Without gold, you need something here, brother, because if not, you're just going to be regulated to the second wheel when it comes to the bloodline. And who's going to speak for you? Good old Sami Zayn. If you're on screen with him, he's going to take over like 80% of the thing, and then it's going to go to you, and you're going to go, yeet, and that's it. That's where you were during the bloodline build-up to Survivor Series War Games, and that was not main event Jay Uso. You literally got the last entrance as the babyface in War Games with the stacked Bloodline versus Bloodline. You got the last thing. And then where'd you go? You went nowhere. Jimmy was getting better pops at some moment for you, you know? Jimmy was like Big Jimbo with his big broken toe
BJ.
was doing something.
Again, what is wrong with you? Obviously, I'm talking about Big Jim. My goodness.
Go ahead. Tweet that out. BJ is great. See what happens.
Maybe I'm talking about Blackjack.
Blackjack is a great game. You know what people don't understand? You gotta eat. Sometimes you gotta eat a card for the table.
You gotta eat a card.
How annoyed do you get when someone hits a card, like takes a card that weren't supposed to?
I hate it all the time. And I hate when they stay on a 16 when the dealer is showing a 10. It's like, what are you doing, dude? You're going to lose. You might as well lose swinging.
It's like, you remind me of like playing Marvel Rivals. You're throwing right now, dude. You need a hit. Like, if you had the ability to tell everybody.
That's why I don't like. I never like going to casinos at nighttime because you get like the people that have been drinking or the people that are very casuals that don't know how to play blackjack. Then they just ruin the table.
It's the same as when I play craps, dude. If I see you rolling the dice, like just no, I'm not gonna place my bet on your roll. Why'd you look at me like that? Why'd you smirk? I've literally shown you an example how people roll dice. I roll the dice like this.
Okay.
And I flick it. I got a little, and I have to be near the stick, man. I don't mess around. You can't be at the end of the table because you can't really regulate or control your throw from that far out. You got to be next to the stick, man.
You can control your dice. What appears on the dice.
Yeah, I could minimize the chaotic nature of chance with a good dice throw. Yes.
But whether it's an unchaotic throw or a chaotic throw, the odds are still the same.
No, they're not.
They're literally the same.
No, they're not.
Dude, you live in a fantasy world.
Wrong. If you apply more velocity and speed to your throw and you just chunk them and you aim and you hit a chip, it changes things, dude. You hit a chip, you hit the back wall,
and it's still the same odds.
Numerically, sure.
But yeah, that's all that matters. Numerical odds are the only odds that matter.
No. Dude, I hit 10 sevens in a row, brother. All right? You're talking to a man that could hit him. No, it's not luck.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, of course. You massage the dice just perfectly. And then throw it now.
Yeah.
Whatever, bro.
Yeah, that's why there's better shooters than others.
I love that you said, maybe numerical odds, as if those aren't the only odds that exist.
There's other odds beyond that as well that Vegas doesn't account for.
What are aside from numerical percentage odds, what kind of odds exist, Sancho? Please tell us. Magical?
Feelings.
I rest my case. Let's move on.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Jay Uso. Numerically, he's not going to win, right? Numerically speaking. Yeah. Gunther is going to win.
You have your feeling that he could win. And because of this feeling, you think he might?
It's the same thing as your dumb Chargers. Numerically, they weren't going to win. Numerically, the odds of them winning the Super Bowl, pretty low. But did you have a feeling in your gut that they had some chances to win?
I did.
Thank you.
And then they didn't? What is your point?
My point is, that's what holding the dice and throwing a different way. It's a feeling. The fence rests, Your Honor.
We got nowhere with that.
No, I did. I thought the fence rest. I'm rested.
Anyways, let's move on.
Just because you have a quarterback named Herbert throws 4 picks?
Unnecessary. This is just low blows here. This is just low blows. Low blows. Low blows. I know blows.
You're like a referee. Like, whoa. Stop the fight.
Cory Graves, towards the end of Monday Night Raw, tweeted some pretty juicy stuff, tweeting out, basically, I'm not going to read it word for word, that he was removed
Why not read it for word? Let the man speak. Come on.
All right,
man.
let me find it. I didn't have it up, but I can find it. Hang on. So you got it?
No. Go ahead.
No, I got it here. So we had Cory Graves say, imagine chasing your dream, then being told, not deciding that you're no longer physically able to pursue your dream. Then you dedicate your life to something that is dream adjacent and being pretty effing awesome at it. And then when it's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, being told that you're not famous enough to do your own job, just in case you've wondered where I've been. So, Sancho, I know you didn't watch NXT. Cory Graves was on commentary on NXT, and I mentioned numerous times, I was like, where the hell is Cory? Was he just there for one match and then dipped? And then Cory would interject once every 10 minutes. I could tell that that was not Cory Graves wanting to be there. There was just something off. Cory was not talking throughout that night. And I feel like we're seeing it here. So basically, folks, what he's saying, the fruits of the labor is WWE getting to the point where it's going to be in front of its most eyeballs ever on Netflix. And Cory Graves not getting to reap the rewards of that labor, the fruits of that labor, not being able to be on Netflix, not being able to be on the new USA contract on Smackdown, and getting relegated to the third brand of NXT. And it's pretty bold and pretty clear here that he's blaming Pat McAfee, and Pat McAfee just being more famous than him and getting that commentary gig. I don't think Pat McAfee is better than Cory Graves. I feel like Cory Graves is hitting it on the head. It is because Pat McAfee is more famous. He is a bigger draw. That's just a fact. That is just true, and he's mentioning it here. He's very clearly aware of that fact. I get it, bro. I would be frustrated as well. I understand that frustration just at the work level, right? Like getting passed up on a major moment for somebody that you feel is less deserving because of an outside factor, like it's the boss's niece or nephew or something like that. I feel for Cory. I absolutely feel for Cory in this situation.
I think at the end of the day, though, that's the nature of the WWE business. They always value big names coming in. I mean, you can't forget about Pat McAfee, yes, and Joe Tessitore. They were the two names that brought in. You could tell that they're going for more of an NFL, college football type of vibe with their commentary. It is no surprise to that. Cory Graves does represent an older school way of doing wrestling commentary, which I enjoy as being heel sometimes. I do think you're shooting yourself into the work, brother. I think like that this is setting up something bigger down the line. I don't think the WWE will allow you to speak your mind and keep it up like that if it's not a work. You know,
sure,
it's a clever work because what's this going to set up? Possibly Cory Graves coming back into the ring, considering that his career ended short, or a match between Pat McAfee and Cory Graves. There's so many options that could go from here. I don't think Cory Graves would be so dumb to shoot himself in the foot, knowing that the WWE always has something for you, right? If you sometimes you got to take a step back. Pat McAfee's not a lifer. I hate to say it. He's not. He's a guy that's going to come by, work seasonal, and then he dips when the college football season comes back around.
Spirit Halloween.
That's what he is. He comes by and does his thing, and he's great at it. And there's some of the things he said that it just hits you at the right time, and it's hilarious to me. Cory Graves is that guy that did his work, like he mentioned, but I just feel that I'd rather have a 2-man booth than a 3-man booth. 3-man booths are too difficult to maintain and roll with. And, who knows, dude? Maybe Wade Barrett retires, or maybe Wade Barrett moves on and gets him active again, but I still think this is uncharacteristic of a Cory Graves and uncharacteristic of the WWE to keep something up like that.
Sure. If it's a work, it's a brilliant work because it's a grievance I feel like anyone could relate to.
Sure.
Right? Like I said, I was like, dude, I get it. If it's real, I totally get the grievance. But the more that we talk about it, the more that's like, would he jeopardize his career, his life for something like this, for voicing out something like this? I don't know. I mean, I genuinely don't know, which is why it is a brilliant work if it is a work. Would I want to see Pat McAfee versus Cory Graves? I personally don't. That doesn't sound...
It'd be a good Mania match.
Would it?
Pretty solid. It would be solid to see Cory Graves get back in the ring. Like, that would get you a little bit excited, right?
We had Nigel McGuinness get his big pop at AEW All In, coming back after many years of hiatus and coming back. So maybe.
Cory in the Rumble.
What's the play? Like, is it like what's the goal? Is it to the reason I'm asking is like,
sure.
Is it just to tell us that Cory's now a wrestler, or is it just for a short moment? Like, what is the purpose of that?
Maybe that he's cleared.
If that's the case, fantastic, great.
Right?
Put him in the Rumble and go off, King. But if it's just appear in the Rumble and then go back to commentary,
it's not the first time that they've done it before,
and
man.
it sucks every time.
I know, and I saw it in 2011 when they did Michael Cole,
all of them,
Booker T, and Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, it was awful. And the last Rumble too with Pat McAfee, it's a waste of a spot.
Sorry.
It's a waste of a spot too. I don't want to see that, but that's why I was asking, like, is it for something long-term? Is it for him to return? Because if it is, great. Go in the Rumble. Hell yeah. Have a Mania match. Sure. Feud with Pat McAfee. Great. But if it's just for, at the end of the day, for him to still be a commentator, I'm good. I'll pass.
I do find it interesting that this is growing from socials. It's a Kevin Owens type of play.
Sure.
Really, it's a good play to do. I don't think like I think a lot of people are falling for it. 2.4 million impressions. That is a lot.
Drama sells. Drama sells. You know
that's a lot of eyeballs. And I think at the end of the day, though, I think Cory Graves is always those what ifs in the WWE. I mean, he had a strong NXT, right? He was a solid wrestler in NXT, right?
Yeah, no, he was tag team champion with Neville Pac now, Bastard Pac.
I like his look too, dude. I mean, his look would go over so well with the ladies. Like, imagine him with Dom. Woo! Well, that's a great faction with him and Dom, I would say, because they're both like just they're the dudes, man.
They're handsome, brother. They're
handsome guys.
Ooh. All right, let's talk about the last little bit here. I wanted to talk about transfers. So we've got no information about this transfer window, by the way. We don't know, like, do you have to trade superstars? Like, if one goes, do you have to send one over? We don't know if there's a deadline. We have no, we just know there's a transfer portal. That's all we know. And we've seen WWE superstars tease making the jump. We've seen people appearing in the background of backstage segments. The first one being like Dom and Nick Aldis. We have more overt ones. Yeah, Liv Morgan. But now we have more overt ones, like Nia Jax just straight up appering on Raw. We had Drew McIntyre appearing on SmackDown.
Wearing blue colors.
Wearing blue colors on Raw. Absolutely. Good point.
I know that's the Scottish flag too, but still.
But now we have some confirmations. Wyatt 6 going over to SmackDown. I wish they didn't announce that.
Straight up.
I wish they didn't announce that. Like, it almost felt like hey, we just pulled the shoot on this feud between you guys and the Wyatt 6 because we didn't think it was going anywhere. So let's just ship them over to SmackDown. Let's start something new with Sami Zayn. I wish they had been a surprise on SmackDown that they just appeared, right?
Do you think it's bad news for the Wyatt 6 to be just shipped off that way? Like, not even given an opportunity to surprise, not even having their run back on the Final Testament. It feels like because it just feels like it's empty. And I still think it stems from not having a one-on-one type of battle with Bo Dallas versus whoever he's feuding with, right? Like a straight up battle.
I agree. I do think it's a bad look. I'm interested as to what they could do on SmackDown. Like, they've got like their prime feud over there. It's called Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes and the Wyatt 6.
Why? That's versus where they were before on Raw, where they could have gone after bigger fish. Carmelo Hayes?
Yeah, but they were never going to go after bigger fish. You have to think realistic. Carmelo Hayes is a perfect apple to pluck from the level that you're at. It's as high an apple as you can grab from where you were being booked.
No, dude. We were saying for the longest
Dom,
time either the New Day and Dom. Yes, bigger fish.
It can still happen. We could see Dom going to SmackDown. I feel like a lot of people are assuming that. We've talked about already about how SmackDown is operating a 3-hour show with a 2-hour roster. They need more bodies, more people. Wyatt 6 is one of those. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Dominic Mysterio going over to SmackDown as well. So, like, that could still happen. It's a shame that we aren't getting, I'm assuming New Day staying on Raw, that we wouldn't be getting New Day versus the Wyatt 6s. That is a perfect feud. But when I look at Carmelo Hayes, I think he's perfect as well, because we've got the thing with him and Trick Williams betraying his brother, one of the biggest feuds in the history of NXT. Which could coincide with Trick Williams getting called up to the main roster as well, by the way, because he lost his NXT championship. It might just be perfectly timed, because if we have Melo and Trick on SmackDown at the same time and the Wyatt 6 goes after both of them, that'd be great.
I still think they don't fit the SmackDown vibe, though. Like, they've felt like a Monday Night Raw entity, like a faction, the spookiness, and Monday Night Raw is where the drama is, and then SmackDown is where the athleticism is. Like, I think I love Penta on Raw, sure, but he belongs on SmackDown. He just feels like, you know what I mean? He just fits that vibe better. And like, there's so much potential for him to do great things on SmackDown, and I don't see that potential. As I think you're silver lining with the Wyatt Six. You're finding something. You're trying to find,
gotta. I can't
right?
just, I can't just say, oh, it's over for them. You're getting, see you later, getting shipped back to OVW, brother.
It's pretty tough. It's tough sailing ahead though for Wyatt Six.
I agree,
because Karrion Kross was a good kind of foe, and we were like hoping that they would do Miz and Testament with them. There was just so many like different kind of matchups you can have, ending with Karrion versus Bo Dallas.
Sancho.
But it just, yes.
Quick, who won the last match between the Final Testament and Wyatt Six?
Was it the Paul Ellering interference?
Who won?
The Final Testament.
Did
Final
they?
answer.
Are you sure?
Nope.
I don't know either. That's how bad the feud was, man. It was not memorable. It wasn't working. I think
it was Final Testament that win.
Sure,
remember
maybe. I don't know.
Paul came back, put the powder in the eyes, and then he pinned Bo Dallas.
Maybe the point I'm trying to make is that it wasn't very memorable.
Now I gotta look it
to
up.
begin with, and it just sort of feels like they're pulling the chute on this. Like, this isn't working. Let's just get out of this and start something new. I do feel like Sami Zayn for the Final Testament is a big upgrade. It does feel like that puts Karrion Kross a couple of degrees away from separation from the main event scene. Wouldn't you agree with that? Like, if we're looking at the overall stock and where Final Testament and Karrion Kross could go, Sami Zayn is a much bigger fish than the Wyatt Six.
December 9th, the Final Testament and the Miz defeat the Wyatt Six.
Cool.
There you go.
Thanks. First, I didn't know.
I'm just letting you know. But yes, I think the Miz is with the Sami Zayn is a bigger upgrade. I love that. I love it when wrestling has these storylines that kind of mix a little bit more, where it's just not so linear, right? We don't need Sami Zayn just to be bloodline focused. I liked how he's like, I have some business with Adam Pearce, but I'll take care of that later. I'm going to have a match with you. And I love that the Miz stood up to him in that moment. It was like, dude, I'm the 2-time world champion, 2 times more than you ever will.
Great
be.
line.
Like,
great line. Great line.
Because let's be real. Santi.
Sancho.
We need a strong Miz for John Cena. We need it.
At some point, yeah, we do. We
need a stronger Miz. You got to build up Miz. You got to build up the old John Cena rogue gallery up to the level where he has to face his old demons. By the way, I'm concerned for your health, Santi.
Why?
I don't know if you know this, but those headphones that you have on tend to dent your scalp.
I have a headphone dent for sure. I've been considering going to earbuds.
Earbuds, my friend.
I know, but I need wireless. I don't like wired. I don't like wires on me. That's too much. I don't like wires on me.
The long wire doesn't feel like you have wires.
No, man, I'm going to trip and die.
What a way to go.
He died doing what he loved.
I could react to the content, react to the clip. Like,
dude, I know this is dark, but like, I have a fear of dying on stream.
I said this story before. I almost choked on stream. It was the scariest feeling in my life. You know what's the first dumb thought I had right away? It was like, this is going to be on LSF.
Yeah, this is live stream fails for those that don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, this is it. This is my legacy right here.
I'm horrified of dying on stream.
I should get to my wife when I'm choking on a piece of Chick-fil-A chicken. Not that, oh my God, what my kids are going to do. It was, I'm going to be on LSF. Like that was, and I had to do it. There was a moment I had to like Neo Matrix, like calm the world and just try to get this piece of chicken out of my esophagus. It was there, and I could feel it. I was just like, be cool, and then
yeah. Did you hit your diaphragm? Get it out?
No, I just went, like a really concentrated Dragon Ball Z like Gohan.
Yeah.
Hey, who's the Piccolo? Who's the Piccolo of WWE? Didn't we have this conversation?
The Piccolo of WWE. Oh man,
Seth Rollins. I don't know.
Okay, sure. I could see Seth Rollins being kind of like a Piccolo. Sure. But what I was going to say is when I worked in the fitness industry, I had to do all different kinds of levels of first aid. So like CPR. And one of the things that I had to do was learning how to help people who are choking and identify
Heimlich
when
maneuver,
people, and I can unchoke myself. I'd learned the process as well.
Yeah, you slam yourself against something, right?
Like you can, they say like there's a good chance that you break your hands, but like you can put like both of your fists right on your diaphragm and then like literally go into a wall and try and cough at the same time. Works like perfectly.
Wow. Rather have broken hands.
For next time.
Broken hands and dead.
100%. Yes. No, it's like, no, I really like my hands.
It won't matter when you're dead. But back to the White Six. Are they dead? Is it too bold to say? Is it, are we getting, or is this our stop of the White Six? I've been off the train, sir. I've been watching this train from afar, watching the little radar. Are you off the White Six train?
I'm not. This is the last bastion.
Last stop?
This is the last stop. If they can't make anything work on SmackDown, I have to maybe pull the chute as well.
Wow.
And it's a shame, man, because their debut is still shame. It's still the coolest thing I've seen on WWE TV in a really, really long time. That debut was incredible. And then it's just been downhill like perpetually since then.
You know what would be wild if they put Penta with that group?
For
but
what?
He's too charismatic. He's too. I'm just saying. I'm trying to find lifeboats here, brother. I'm trying to find lifeboats. I think I predicted in 2025 that the Wyatts will either add members or lose members before it ends. Like they need to do. They have to change it up. They have to do something.
Yeah, honestly, I think the only and I didn't even want to see this. I still don't. I'm just saying. I feel like this is the only lifeline that they have left is Alexa Bliss. And I don't want to see. I'd rather see Alexa Bliss on her own. I really would.
To do what? They already Nikki Cross
I don't know.
Is Sister Abigail.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Wait, is she Sister Abigail or the witch?
No, she's the witch.
So you say Nikki Cross would have to be Sister Abigail?
No. Sorry. She would. No, Nikki Cross is the witch. I don't know, bro. I've lost track of these friggin' characters. I'm moving.
Well, on. you're saying Alexa Bliss because she was with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, it's the only play that's left that could elevate the Wyatt Six, and it's not a play I want to see. That's the thing.
No, because it doesn't elevate Alexa Bliss at all.
It's not the play I want to see. I'm just saying it's the only play left, but it's not the play I want to see.
Now, is the play that you want to see for Alexa Bliss is to get involved with Tiffany Stratton?
Yeah.
Or to go after Rhea Ripley?
Either. The cool thing about Alexa Bliss is that she's an established main eventer that we know can be in that space. Right? Mm-hmm. She can be in main events. She can hold championships, win major accolades. The neat thing about Alexa Bliss is that she's been gone for so long that we don't know what Alexa Bliss versus Tiffany Stratton looks like. We don't know what Alexa Bliss versus modern day Rhea Ripley looks like. That's not like we've had them before, but like when Rhea Ripley was entirely different. Yeah. So Alexa Bliss is an established main eventer that gives us new feuds in the main event, which I think that in itself is really, really valuable.
Would Alexa Bliss be the name to add legacy to the IC or United States title?
That'd be a good one. Yeah, it would be a good one.
Because you know why? Because that'd be different. I don't need a.
You don't want Charlotte. You don't want Charlotte to.
I don't want. Oh hail the queen. That's all I think about when you're.
They're gonna make Charlotte the first ever main roster Triple Crown champion, though. They are.
There's so many options, though, right? Who's on the doorstep? Charlotte and who else? Isn't Bayley one of them?
Yeah, there's a few. There's Charlotte, Bayley. Has Becky Lynch won the tag titles? I don't think that she has.
I can look it up.
Yeah, I don't know that she has. Now that did Charlotte win? I'm pretty sure Charlotte did win the tag titles. Anyways, Death, Taxes, and Charlotte Flair winning championships when she comes back from injury, brother. Those are the certain things in life. Shall we start to transition?
Becky won the title champion with Lita.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was. And then that's where the feud with Trish Stratus unfolded.
Yeah,
I remember.
And then Charlotte Flair. Hold on, it only takes a quick second. Has won with Asuka.
I don't remember that at all, brother. At all.
Asuka will actually be a good name to bump up those titles, the IC in the United
That's
States.
another good name.
Ooh, imagine Chelsea Green versus Asuka.
Be great, man. Hey, man, I'm just saying, Penta versus Chelsea Green. Give me that for the Women's United States Championship again, baby.
There's rumors that 2K25 will allow intergender matches.
Hopefully it's tasteful.
Dog. People don't know how good Penta versus Reclusa is.
It's so good. Dude,
Even
versus Hitokiri, aka Io Sky. Oh, so good. So good.
I was looking for that spot, and when Penta was facing Chad Gable, where he was going to throw him into the lower rope and do the drop kick, I was looking for that spot. I know the only spot that was kind of iffy was Penta on the lower rope, but I was like, he's not used to these loose ropes. Like, these ropes are too loose for him. I think next he would probably tell him, like, could you tighten the ropes for me and going forward? Because the AEW ropes are really tight. I mean, that's why Commander's able to literally run across the ropes. It's kind of insane. Have you seen that spot?
Oh yeah, dude. Commander's
he goes
crazy.
And then runs all the way across.
Commander's crazy.
I think like people need to like. And one thing I want to point out as well is people were wanting a Penta squash match. No, you can't do that to Chad, and you would be not having. You would be taking away the other half of Penta's greatness, which is his selling.
They've stopped doing that. They've stopped doing those like new debut squash matches. I remember when Chelsea Green was in NXT and she was the debut match of Julia. Everybody's like, Julia's gonna destroy her in 3 minutes, and they ended up having a 15-minute banger. I feel like they're going with that route now. Like, hey, show the people why you're awesome, and we're gonna give you time to do it, not a 5-minute squash match.
Nice.
Yeah. Shall we?
We shall.
Okay.
We shall.
Let's go. Banter for 2 seconds.
Okay, great. Folks, just to let you know, we're doing the new heat order, and this is a list of the top 10 wrestlers that are giving us the buzz. They have appeared on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown as one of the qualifiers. And also, I am putting these on YouTube, so you may be watching this on YouTube right now on Sancho West Wrestling. If you just want to see the new heat order, my dog is barking, so excuse that. But here's the new heat order from last week. We had number 1, Tiffany Stratton. Number 2, CM Punks. Number 3, Roman Reigns. Number 4, Seth Rollins. Number 5, Rhea Ripley. Number 6, Kevin Owens. Number 7, Solo Sikoa. Number 8, Penta. Number 9, LA Knight, and number 10, Pretty Deadly. So, considering that we're heading into the new heat order now, interesting to say, I don't know. I know Santi could hear me, so I'm gonna definitely put Penta at number 1. I think Penta coming into it, having a strong debut. Not only that, performing well on the microphone was a huge step forward, and just having that confidence. We said in the podcast earlier in Wrestling School, just having the trust and confidence to be able to deliver on all 3 things. The look is there, of course, the entrance there, the theme is there, the match quality is there, and as well, the promo skills are there for Penta. Will they allow him to continue in Spanish? I hope so. And it just felt so refreshing to see a luchador not be in the LWO right away and speak Spanish without a translation, and just let the people figure out what he says, because he was able to speak more freely from the heart. Santi, number 1, Penta.
Agreed. I heard everything that you said. I co-sign everything. Penta number 1. Can I know we've done this before. Can we break precedent for a second?
Oh my God.
We broke precedent with Joe Hendry, right? Can we break precedent, and you can put them together if you want? Oba and Julia.
Okay.
Oba and Julia, new generation of NXT has begun.
Are you putting them at 2 or at 5, top 5, top bottom 10? What are we talking about?
I put them comfortably at 5.
Okay.
I'll
give you that. You know what? You spoke like a gentleman. You know? You ever seen the movie The Bronx Tale?
No.
There's a moment in the scene where they're trying to come into the bar, and the guy's like, "Hey man, we're just here for a couple of drinks." The biker, and the guy goes, "You know what? Spoke like a gentleman. Give them their beer." So you spoke like a gentleman. You didn't come in here with your Charger attitude.
What do you mean my Charger attitude?
Oh, like you act like you belong somewhere when you had no business being there in the first place.
Oh my God.
It clearly comes shattering down. Number 2, I want to figure out where to put Lyra Valkyria. I don't think it's a high pick yet on the new he order, considering that the title is not there yet. It's a great accomplishment, and I want to put it on the list, but I don't think it breaks the top 5 for me.
Sure, I feel comfortable right below the 2 NXT champions. Maybe like 6 or 7.
I'm down to put it at 7.
Okay. All right, put it at 7. Put it at 7. All right, here's a big name, Jay Uso, going after the world title. Really nice promo too. Like when he
That's what we didn't get to talk about that, but
Yeah.
yes, a strong promo, spoke from the heart for the first time in a long time. And that's the Jey Uso we want.
Yes.
And I think that's the main event Jey Uso that could warrant the title.
Agreed.
But does it beat CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre claiming for the Rumble? And
I think it does. It was a good promo, but it wasn't as good as the last time all three of them were together.
Because they had business. They had to talk about declaring for the Rumble.
Yeah. Declaring for the Rumble doesn't hit as hard as, like, for example, when Roman declared for the Rumble, because Roman hasn't been in the Rumble since forever, brother.
Maybe the San Antonio one?
Maybe the one Drew McIntyre won, dude. Maybe the 2021. I think that was the last one that he was in. I think. Okay. I think. Anyways, it's been a long time. So I have Roman's announcement of the Rumble above all three of those guys. Even though Roman wasn't even on TV, it was Heyman.
People were upset at us last week. We didn't put John Cena. That's your fault. I'm not responsible. Yeah, I'm not responsible for John Cena. You know?
I'm not responsible for John Cena.
It's your boy. It's like for example, if LA Knight's on the list and not on the list, it's my fault. Not your fault.
Okay.
It's my fault.
It lands on you. Got it.
Yes. Number 2, Jey Uso?
Yeah, let's put Jay there.
Okay. Jey Uso. Number 3, anybody wants to put Gunther? Did I get any bias for Gunther at 3?
Gunther was great. Give me Gunther at 3. Gunther was fantastic. That promo was so good.
To form Gunther.
He's back, baby. My general.
I called it as I know he's gonna say, Jay, you're not on my level, Jay. And he said to her, like, I got you pinned down. Okay, we didn't talk about Damian and Finn at all this podcast. Does Damian Finn, is it just because you're exhausted? Talk about it like
I'm so done. This did nothing for them, brother. Absolutely nothing for either of them. Finn Balor's stock is the lowest it's ever been. Great, Damian, you won the feud. It helped you in no way, shape, or form. Being in this feud hurt you. Both of those guys started the feud up here, and they finished it, both of them, down here. Both of them.
Man, they ended the show 30 minutes early.
Yeah, they're not on this list. They're not.
I feel so bad because one, Judgment Day lost their theme song. Doesn't add any of the aura Finn Balor used to have with that theme song. And then just Finn Balor just seemingly a leader of a husk of itself. Yeah, losers. All right. Number 4.
It's like being the head coach of the New England Patriots now. You know, they used to be the team. They used to be faction.
Finn Balor definitely like the Herbert of the WWE.
Oh, stop it. Move on.
Number 4. Any love for Rhea Ripley? Any Nia Jax?
Dude, Nia was great in that promo. Okay, BBL Bailey.
I think Nia is seemingly, she could hold a promo. Is this a safe place?
It is, sure.
Nia could cut a better promo than Rhea sometimes.
Nia, like, especially in that promo, she just felt loose. She just felt like she was having fun with it. Rhea's promo there was the formulaic, mommy's always on top, Rhea Bloody Ripley. I think the difference here is that when Rhea Ripley isn't the Rhea Ripleys of the world, when you're that high up, you sometimes become a bit of a caricature. Of a caricature, and just too many damn quotes, too many quotable things that you say over and over and over again. It's the reason.
Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes is a great example. Absolutely a great example. Jey Uso is maybe the example, right? Yeet every other word. Rhea Ripley, when she doesn't do that, she can be great on the mic, but this promo was literally just like, hey, it's Rhea Bloody Ripley. Mommy's always on top. Mommy dominates Raw. It's like, okay, there's no substance here. But then Nia went out there just with no care in the world, cutting maybe one of her better promos of her career.
So is it Nia at 4 or Rhea Ripley? We could put Rhea at 4 because she's back on top, but
no, let's put Rhea. Let's put Rhea there still.
At 4? How about Nia at 9, maybe?
Yeah, I
Sounds
feel
about
like Nia
right.
deserves to be on the list.
I'll put Nia at 9.
Could we put Dom/Liv together? Just the breakup and the.
I'll put them at 10 because they
Sure.
didn't do anything else after it, but I'm excited.
Dude, I felt for Dom. It's like, brother, every man in a long-term relationship has been through this. Are you mad, babe? No, you're mad.
Oh, dude. He's going to have a lot of PlayStation 5 time. Let's just say that. You know what I mean? You're mad? All right. I'm going to go play video games.
It doesn't work, guys. Don't do what Sancho just said.
What? What do you do? What do you want to do? What are you going to keep knocking on that door? You're done, dude. You're done for the night. Wrangle the troops. Fire up the PlayStation, bro. We'll try again tomorrow. You know,
we'll get him next time.
Get him next. Mission failed. Get him next time. All right, Okay, I'll put Dominic and Liv at 10.
Sure,
because they're like it's like Motor City Machine Guns, anything pretty deadly, DIY, LA Knight, Nakamura. We're in
Give
this
me Jacob
now.
Fatu pretty high, man. Promo, good, solid promo in the main event.
Promo, Jacob Fatu.
Yeah,
Jacob Fatu at 6.
Yeah, let's put Jacob at 6.
Yes, Jacob Fatu. I'm gonna lace you up. All those things he says, I'm like, yes, dude.
Dude, he's got bars, man. I don't know if he was doing it intentional, but the dude was rhyming.
The only thing is, like, if you're gonna cut something like you're about to enter a nightmare, don't explain it. Like, I know what you're saying. You know what I mean? He's like, and now you're in a nightmare. Because we're on Elm Street. I get it. You didn't have to do that. We were there with you. I get it. Do you want to put Drew, Punk, Seth Rollins
right there
at 8 or 9?
Yeah.
8?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
just going to put these boys together.
Yeah, just put them together. Just put them together.
We do this every now and then on the new Heat order. Sometimes we separate them, but we're just going to do it. We're going to put them all together.
Putting them at 8?
Because we're all in this together.
Copyright.
You know the song?
No, I don't.
How'd you know it was a song then?
Because you sang it, dumbass. Otherwise.
Yeah, but I could have said it in a different way, but you knew it was a popular song to be copyrighted.
I mean, I just assumed it was a song because you sang.
Okay.
Number 9. What do you usually sing, Sancho? Songs.
I thought you said Psalms. Number 9, brother. Tough list.
Can we do Gable? Can we do Gable? Give him his flowers.
Yes,
give him his
flowers. Absolutely. Great call. And that is your new Heat order for the week here. Number 1, Penta. Number 2, Jay Uso. Number 3, Gunther. Number 4, Rhea Ripley. Number 5, Oba Femi and Julia. Number 6, Jacob Fatu. Number 7, Lyra. Number 8, CM Punk, Seth Drew. Number 9, Chad Gable. Number 10, Dominic and Liv Morgan. And that is your new Heat order for the week. If you're watching this on the YouTube on Sancho West Wrestling, be sure to like and subscribe. There you go.
All right.
I told the people, I cut it out just to give the people, some. We gotta spread out. You gotta spread us out and build us up. Build up the Sancho West Wrestling YouTube.
I agree. Go check it out if you haven't done so already.
Yeah,
I mean, you're a hardcore fan, viewer, listener if you're this far into the podcast, so you might as well go get yourself some more Sancho.
Sancho media, brother.
All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Wrestling is Cool podcast. Again, you could have gotten this episode 3 days earlier over on Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZab. An extra special thank you goes out to our $15 patrons who are the producers of this show. They get to watch movie night with us at the end of the month. They're part of the Discord page. And they also get their name read out here at the end of the show as part of the credits. So thank you goes to Sancho for President. F.U. Santi, I'm first. Nick Harvey. Aaron Garcia, Abel Rodriguez, Akai is gone. Alejandro, Alex Rigel, Santi. It's pronounced Alex Regal. Okay. Thanks, Rigel. Alex, Alan Crockett, Anita Max Win, Antony, Arrogance, Asperlitz, Ozzy Kingslayer, Austin Baker, Austin Theories Theorist, Authentic Chocolate, Aiden Sean, Bailey Saunders, Ben Fart, Barry, Be Hostile. Bro, what was the one that made us laugh?
We'll get there.
Okay, do you think it's still there? Okay.
Later.
Big Shy, Blast Pass, Brad, Brady Keaton, Brandon, Braden, I gotta get it together. I'm laughing still. Brian Ibarra, Bry Guy, Bryce Bird, Bunker Jones, he loves WWE, Caleb Lee, Callus Caven, Cameron Noel, Carlos Gonzalez, CB, Chargers and Cowboys suck ass, Bills better, Chew Poppy, Chimchars Collectibles.
You know what? Bills are gonna lose now.
Yeah, they are.
That karma. Way to go.
Chris Butner Lucas, Chris Eric Clark Jr. of the law firm right there, folks. There was a football player that had a name like a law firm. Ben Jarvis Green Ellis.
Oh, yeah.
They called him the law firm. Christian Billick, Christian G, Christopher, CM Puff, Colin O'Malley, Colin Roach. Dude, the law firm would be such a sick nickname as an NFL player. Conductor of the Penta train. That's us, brother. You can be a passenger, brother, but you ain't conducting. Connor Williamson, Dark Flame, David Otunga. Dom should win everything. Dorian Best, Drew Baumgarn, Dumsky, Dylan Kana, El Joshi, Emmanuel Holmes, Aaron Thorne. Isage has a needle for the dirty bubble. I feel you, brother. The dirty bubble. Did you see that?
No.
Cost the Chargers the loss. Did you not see what happened in the SpongeBob broadcast?
Oh, yeah. I never heard of it. Yeah.
Chargers are up 6-0, and then the dirty bubble takes Jim Harbaugh, and then immediately the next play, interception. We get outscored 32-6 after that. The dirty bubble, brother. Cost that. Replay the game. Fletcher Walpole floating, Forever Wrestling, Franklin L. Everett.
SpongeBob
We lost to the dirty bubble. Gamerscape, George Valdez, Gilbert Deans, Godspeed, Goofy Goober, GXA Man, Heartfelt, Hey Shakes, Hoodie Cam. I have half a brain that you do. Issa David, Jackson, Jacob Pena, Jacob Staffel, Jakota Gamblin, Jadishan, Jaden Davis, Jake Adams, Jake Chavoya, James Brian Balago, Jassim Alcazar, Javier Rodriguez, Jalen Steele, Jesse Gibson, Jesse Morin, Jihihi Ahihi, Joe Velez, Joey Romig, Jolly Green Giant, Jordan Lynch, Jordy Marte, Jaws B, Jose Santi's cousin, Josh Sutton, JR2619, Juan Verduzco, Judson Daniels, Juicy, Justin Brooks, Justin Perkins, Caden Rivers, Ken Dean, Cassez, Coady Rick Boogs, Leon, let me boo you out of the building, brother. There it is. Dude, I love the memes of Hulk Hogan blaming Jimmy Hart. Bro, they really didn't. No, he didn't actually blame Jimmy Hart. Just memes were like of like Hogan telling Jimmy Hart, Jimmy, they really didn't like you out there, brother. Lots of heat on you, brother.
Let me.
Let me boo you out of the building, brother. Lil Shifu, Lincoln, Luke Parker, Luke Sika, Manly Man, Marnie YCSM, Matthew Dollar, Matthew Oberg, Matthew Watkins, Mekki, Michael Purnell, Miguel Paredes, Mikey Rada, Mitchell Harris, Mitchell X, Muhammad Albanai, Monte Moore, Nathaniel Stevenson, Neb, Nellen Zach, Nicholas Kyle, Noah Burden, Obi Nobi, Osama Awad, Pat R, Pat McMahon, Paul Heyman Guy, Pim Caw, Frody, Punk Fan, Puppet Spanker Johnson, Raphael, Reaper God, Ricky Dutcher, RKO, not RKD, Santi. Okay, my bad. Robert Rogers, Rocky B, Riley, Santi's mass unfollowing April 19th, 2025. Why that day? What happened on that day? Oh, is that Mania?
It hasn't happened yet. What do you want? How do I know?
That's Mania. That's Mania. I'm like, why that specific day? Santi spells ICUP to John Cena. Nice. Santi wants Sancho to hive him the glaze. He completely like butchered that. Hiveheim, he said. Santi, on a scale of 1 to 10, how cute is Sancho? Santi's massage therapist.
Answer.
1.
Damn.
Saudi Rick Boog, Screamo Scott, Semba, Shaggy WWE, Shane, Simon Scareborn, Sip God, Sir Alberton, Sir Nightmare, Skylar Bashirs, Slow Toke Rodriguez, Solo, I love you. Solo, fuck you. Summer, Spicy Nugget, Stephanie Vaquer lookalike contest in my bedroom, Stone Cold Peach Austin, Stucky, Sugar Shane, Sugar Malachi Galaxy, Tanner Cloudis, The Final Pebble, The Gamey Freak YouTube, The Lewis Brand, Thiem is a Dutch name that Santi can't say correct, Tim Rodriguez, Tim Fitzmaurice, Tobias Burnett, Tom Lehman, Tommy, Trendhead, Ty, TY, Tyler Free, V. Charles, Juan Pablo, White Mexican, Wo JC, Javier Izquierdo, Zach Mira, Deadshot, Zach Griffin, Zach Butcher, Zay2K, Zergzito. Thank you all very, very much for supporting us and what we do here at the Wrestling Is Cool Patreon, YouTube pages, or wherever it is that you're listening to us. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Wrestling Is Cool podcast. You folks take care and be wonderful people. Goodbye.